Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Nick Henderson. I'm joined by Brad Simons.
That's me.
Christopher Guthridge.
Hey.
And we're joined by special guest this week,
Hey, what's up?
Carlos. Carlos is here. Hello, Carlos.
How are you guys? How are you guys?
Carlos is looking interesting today.
It's been a while since I've been on one of these, so I thought.
Yeah, you've gone through some changes, huh?
Yeah.
He brought all kinds of bling. We're wearing, well, I don't know if you would really call this bling.
It's like party favor bling.
Party. You can buy this at Party City, I'm pretty sure.
It's definitely plastic.
Crispy's starting to look like the Scarecrow over there with all these bling rings on.
Yeah, because the Scarecrow had like dollar signs all over his head.
Not well. I'm talking about from a distance. It's like you have.
I thought it was because we were trying to look like the Joker.
Oh, I see what you did there. Do y'all want to talk about some of that shit at a Comic-Con?
Sure.
I mean,
Let's talk about.
We're gonna talk
Comic-Con.
about. Okay, first of all, we have
It's
a lot of
pretty
stuff. We have some new stuff to talk about this week. We're gonna talk about Rocket League. We're gonna talk, of course, about Iwata. We'll talk about that during the second segment. But I figured we'll start things off. It was Comic-Con last week, and there was some stuff.
Yeah, there
Some
was.
stuff.
There was some stuff coming out of Comic-Con.
Hey,
this
was
past
there
week.
any
Yes.
trailers for upcoming comic book based movies?
Fantastic
I
Four.
don't remember.
Are we starting with Fantastic Four? I didn't
Has
wa- okay.
anyone seen
I-
the Fantastic
I
Four
I have
trailer?
not seen that.
I did
I
not
didn't know it
watch the
existed.
Fantastic
I even
Four.
forgot that movie existed until one of my friends posted on Facebook. Guys, there's a Fantastic Four trailer out. And I was like,
I'll be
what?
honest. My lack of interest in that movie really just stems from my lack of interest in those characters. But that's just me. The movie looks far better than the last ones they
It still
did.
looks bad. It's weird that everyone on it is so young. They're supposed to be like well-recognized scientists and shit, and they all look like
Yeah.
they're 20.
Well,
It's weird.
I think they're going like the Ultimates approach.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about
Is
a
that,
good
is that the
trailer.
ultimate thing? Is that they just make all the characters like younger
No,
versions of themselves?
no.
or-
No. It's just the Fantastic Four happened to all be aged down in the Ultimate Universe.
I agree with what's going on in chat right now, and I think the worst part about this movie is that they're actually putting the 4 in the word fantastic
the
in place
A?
of the A.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
I also agree with Benrig. Kate Mara
Did
does
the
not look like Butt, even though maybe the movie does.
did
Because
the
Kate Mara could never look like Butt.
yeah, but yeah, I don't even like her as a blonde though. Like
Who is that? Who is playing Susan?
It's the girl that looks like
from
Bud
American
from the-
Horror Story. From
Whoa,
the
she
first,
American Horror.
What?
yeah, she was in the first season of American Horror Story.
the
and she was in
redhead?
House of Cards.
She was in House of.
Oh!
Who did she play in American Horror Story?
Mara Wilson. What's her name? Mara something?
That's right.
No, that's her last name. Hey, can we stop talking about Fantastic Four because we've just spent 20 minutes talking about Fantastic Four?
We've been recording for 4 minutes. I don't know how that's possible.
How about we talk about a cool trailer, like the trailer for
Fallout 4.
Well,
Oh,
what's
we're talking
Brad
about
gonna say?
Comic-Con.
What's Brad gonna say?
I was gonna try to make some joke, but nothing. Norbit 2. How about that? The new trailer for Norbit.
I'll be honest. Maybe I didn't follow Comic-Con as closely as I thought I did.
You certainly weren't following as close as Brad did. I don't even think that trailer exists.
I
don't know.
I do know that a lot of
Deadpool.
the,
What y'all think about Deadpool?
Dude.
Deadpool.
Deadpool looked really
Ryan
funny.
Reynolds is born to play.
But that's what everyone says. That's what he says.
I know
guess.
it's true. Jesus Christ, that was a cool looking trailer, and he makes
It was
this good.
Listen, Nick. Nathan Fillion was born to play everyone. So
Did y'all see the tweet this
So-
weekend from Nolan North, who was having? I guess he was
I
having a
saw
beer with Nathan Fillion, and he tweeted, and he's like, "This is my *1 choice for playing Nathan in the Uncharted movie."
Oh,
And took a
yeah.
picture with Nolan with
Nathan
with
Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Okay, so so the full trailer for Deadpool's out. I guess they got tired of
When did
trying
they
to kill
I
release
the
thought
leak.
so. I don't know.
they've been
I've
releasing
only
everything
seen
that
I've
leaked.
still only seen the shit version.
I've only seen the
So
cam.
so Deadpool is Fox still, right?
yeah.
So does it look kind of budget? Like the last few like it's hard to tell with the lower quality one.
Right.
But you know, like if you look at the trailer for like the last couple of Wolverine movies or whatever.
It doesn't look that bad.
But wasn't that's my question.
Like, the Wolverine
like do we need to be
movies were
worried because it's Fox?
I mean, I'm always worried because it's Fox, but I don't know. Like what they showed in the trailer looked pretty cool. It looks like they're doing some kind of animation stuff with his face, like for his eyes to like emote a little bit. Because like his eyes like squint and stuff like that when he's wearing the
Oh
mask.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure like they do a lot of stuff like
So who knows, like
Animation
how,
on his face.
like who knows how crazy that's gonna get.
They have to.
But-
See, that's the weird thing about Deadpool, right? Is he's always has his mask on for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah, they showed him.
They're basically just relying on Ryan
They showed
Reynolds.
him out of costume a lot, like
Well,
in
they
that trailer.
it's a
Right,
Hollywood
because it's a
movie.
movie, but like that.
I love
Yeah.
the last
But
part
how
of that
bad does he
trailer.
look?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell how
I've seen-
disfigured he was.
I've seen
because
pictures of
I
him.
couldn't
from
tell
the
because
set.
all I saw was the leaked footage, so you can't really see how fucked up
Well,
his face
there's a
is.
there's
He
a
looks-
picture of him from the set where you
But
see
set
his face.
pictures are never.
I mean, but even in the blurry
Well, in the
shots,
in the
you can kinda
trailer, there
tell.
was like a shot after the whole Weapon X thing where he's not wearing his mask and he looks kind of fucked up, but he's never gonna look as fucked up as he like.
so here's another
does
question.
look like.
Since this is also Fox,
Yeah.
and it's also still Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah,
is this
probably
connected at all to the
I don't think so.
don't think
Deadpool
so.
from the X-Men movies?
Apparently they're like
Wolverine,
gonna
or-
make some kind of like meta joke about the whole thing.
Oh,
but
I can't
like,
wait for that.
yeah, I mean
That'd
that's
be
that's a real Deadpool kind of thing.
All right,
to
so
do.
what about Batman v Superman?
dude?
I
I'm
thought
really
I thought
fucking
that was pretty
excited.
cool.
I'll be honest, but I mean the thing is, like I loved Man of Steel, and I know a lot of people didn't. So I think I think it really comes down to how you feel about the approach they're taking to that universe in the first place. Because
I think
some people are very like high on this, like I can't believe they're making Superman like dark and not like.
yeah.
And you know,
I mean,
I'm
the-
always for that. I think, but
I think okay. It feels like I liked Man of Steel more than a lot of people did. I have some issues with just the tone that they gave Superman as a character, because it does kind of feel like they're trying to tell like a Batman type story with Superman.
yeah,
Um,
he's never taken that tone in the comics though ever.
I mean, he's been around for 75, 80 years. I mean, there have been some fucking missteps along the way.
Cowboy Superman.
But when Cowboy Superman. But when he's at its best, it's usually a lot brighter and a lot more optimistic. It's got a lot of what people now like about, say, like Captain America.
Sure.
Like Christopher Reeves.
And who's to say
Batman.
that's not going to be in the movie? It's just the
Christopher
thing
Reeve's
is,
Batman.
they're obviously using this movie as a catapult for the new Batman.
Yeah.
So this feels a lot more like maybe a Batman movie with Superman
That
than I
kind
thought
of
it
thing
was.
that like Zack Snyder was trying to do with Man of Steel and Superman maybe wasn't a great fit. But like if this story is going to be focusing more on Batman, that might be a different story. you know?
Question. Does Superman like want to kill Batman?
No.
Okay, he just wants. Like Batman's basically trying to stop, and Superman's like, "Come on, just leave me alone."
Batman.
I mean, that's kinda-
Batman's like. It looks like Batman's kind of going fucking
Crazy
mental,
man.
thinking that this guy is out there, and that he's like basically a threat to the world as he sees it, and he wants to bring him down. And Superman,
I honestly love that
Superman's
they're
just
using.
trying to like live his life.
I love that they're tying like everybody threw a fit about all the destruction that happened in Man of Steel,
Yeah.
which rightfully so, I suppose. But they're aware of that, and I like how they're using that to build up to the story in Batman versus Superman.
But is Lex Luthor? Does he like kind of brainwash Superman? It looked like maybe it was going in that direction or something.
I think he's like manipulating Batman.
I thought he
it
was
seem-
manipulating Superman.
No, it's as if he's trying to make Superman seem
He's
more
probably
of a threat than he
it's
is.
probably like the whole like bringing Batman into Metropolis to like try and take down Superman might even be like Lex Luthor's like idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like
that's the
something
vibe
he
I
would
got.
do.
Did you
He
see the
would, like,
GIF? There was a GIF that someone took the scene
from Man,
of Steel where Zod
is-
uses his laser to like cut the building in half, and then they synced it up with the Batman versus Superman trailer, and you see Bruce Wayne in the street when he's trying to save that little girl, and he's looking up at the building, and you see the beam come
Yeah.
out. So it's obviously implying that Bruce Wayne was in the city when that happened. So
Yeah. So they really are going full Avengers. There's going to be all kinds of like tie-ins and like post.
Dude, I think it's cool. This
scenes
is-
where like.
Wow.
Also, what is Wonder Woman doing in that movie? Couldn't they just give her own movie? It just seemed like.
Well, they are
They
going to.
are doing one, but that's still
Just
gonna
weird.
be
They're-
like,
it's weird. This is not a Justice League movie, but they're using it to introduce all of the Justice
well,
League
that's
members.
why they called it like fucking
Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of
Yeah.
Justice. Yeah, this is like
She's
their
probably
jumping off
going
point.
to play a pretty small role.
Is she powerful? Like who?
Yeah.
What,
She's a goddess. Though.
Well, see, the reason
abilities-
why
she
they
beat up
felt
Batman?
the reason why they felt the need to include her in the movie is because the Justice League is built around those three characters.
Okay.
The Justice League is Batman,
Batman,
Superman,
Superman,
Wonder
Wonder
Woman. They're like the triumvirate of the DC universe.
In the Suicide Squad, they're going for kind of like a
Dude, I think-
like a darker Guardians of the Galaxy. What's up with that?
I mean,
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't
This
really.
is the
I
first
wouldn't
time.
put it in the same box as Guardians of the Galaxy.
This is the first time it feels like DC is actually making a real attempt at building a like cinematic universe.
They're trying.
Because
They're
like
trying.
Batman is in the trailer for Suicide Squad, and it looks like the same Batman from Batman vs Superman, obviously. So
Yeah.
like that's kind of cool. But it's kind of
I
weird.
hope so. Otherwise, they fucked up.
Yeah, it's kind of it's weird to me though. Like I'm honestly after seeing the Suicide Squad trailer, I'm way more positive about the movie than I thought I'd be. Even the Joker, I think he looks like he could be really potentially like a cool character.
He could be. Yeah.
It's kind of weird to think that version of the Joker is the Joker that's going to be the Joker in the universe that they started with Man of Steel. They don't feel like necessarily the same universe yet to me. But
Yeah.
You know what?
that's literally based off of like 5 seconds of footage.
I'm gonna say this
So-
though, like people have a lot of people. I've been hearing a lot of people say that about the Suicide Squad trailer, saying I'm a lot more confident. But I feel like that style of trailer was really kind of hard to make any sort of qualitative judgment on how it's gonna be. You know, unlike Batman v Superman and Deadpool, there's a lot of like dialogue, and you see
Well, I think-
like sort of enough of a scene to be able to go, okay, I like that. But the
get, like,
Suicide
what
Squad
the
was just
tone
sort of
is.
like a music video. Like
The thing is,
what
like,
the fuck was
I
even
feel like that
happening?
trailer was more than anything just like a proof of like production
It
value.
was more like
almost.
because all we really had to go off of about Suicide Squad at all before that was those first like production like promotional shots that they put out of the cast,
Which I think painted a really-
which weren't great. And then just like on set photos that people have been like snapping while they've been shooting. So we didn't really know what these characters were supposed to look like in motion, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't really know like what you didn't even really see like unless you've like seen an actual like still from the movie, you don't even know like cinematically like how it's going to look, like what kind of tone
I
or
think now
style
we
they're
have an
going
idea of
for.
what the movie's
And now
going to
that
look
it's
like.
kind of like coalescing a little bit, it makes it, you know, it makes you feel a little better that like maybe this won't be a huge train wreck. I'm not saying that it's not going to be a huge train wreck. It could still be. But having seen a little bit of it in motion kind of puts you at ease.
To comment on Brad's, saying that it seems more like a music video. Like, I went and looked it up because I completely forgot. I was like, when is this movie even coming out? I looked it up. It's still over a year away. Which I was just like, holy God. That was a 3-minute trailer for a movie that's more than a year away. It's coming out in August of 2016.
Same
They've
with
been
Batman
shooting for
versus
like a month.
Superman.
Well,
It's not
Batman
until
vs. Superman, I think, is
2016.
March, isn't it? It's March.
That's still pretty far off, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe like they literally squished together a trailer with the very little footage
what
they've
they
actually
have.
had so far. The Spectre trailer, like the James Bond trailer, was like there was no action, and I think it was an awesome trailer.
Yeah.
But it was literally just like a lot of like establishing shots and things like that.
When the
and just
Spectre trailer
dialogue.
came out, I don't think they were done filming yet.
No, they had just
they
had like started like a month before that trailer came out or
They're
something.
not done filming.
They're still
Suicide
filming
Squad.
it, I think.
Yeah.
Did you see I checked out the sets for Spectre in Mexico City, Nick? What?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Is that what you tweeted at me?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if you were serious. I didn't even know you were in Mexico at that point, so I was like, "What's going on?" So you were serious?
Yeah.
You see anything? Anything cool?
Just sets.
Just sets. Well, that's crazy. What else came out of Comic-Con? I watched that. Anyone watched the Star Wars Force Awakens behind the scenes footage? Holy shit, they got me.
I haven't seen that.
They got
I'm
me
putting
excited.
it off. I've been putting it off.
what is that?
Dude, I've
Is
been
that
getting
a
like
leak, or is that-
crazy.
No, they didn't have a trailer to show, but they put together like this 3-minute montage of like behind the scenes. It showed them like it showed like a bunch of established shots of like where they were filming.
Different locations.
They had
like,
they had people on set commenting on how cool it was to be filming Star Wars, and
they
they
had
showed
Simon
more
Pegg there.
They had Simon Pegg, who was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh,
He
then
was,
I did
like,
see it.
getting in an alien suit.
Yeah.
and, like,
Didn't they
walking
take
around.
everyone that watched that afterwards to like a private concert?
Yeah,
I
dude,
watched-
that was
that
kind
was
of fucked up
crazy.
too, because in that hall, like right after the Star Wars panel ended, like Kevin Smith had a big panel that nobody went to because everyone was out at that fucking surprise Star Wars concert.
They literally said
like, just like ruined the rest of the panel.
I watched most of that panel, and they literally like the end of it. J.J. Abrams was just like, "By the way, we're doing something crazy. I can't believe San Diego agreed to this, but we're gonna do a concert, and we're all gonna walk there together." And everyone just got up
Like,
and
how many people? 4,000?
I don't know, a lot of people. They
something
didn't show the
crazy.
whole room in the footage, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. But the behind the scenes footage is definitely worth watching.
Well,
It's only 3 minutes, and it's great.
yeah, dude, I'm so excited for that movie.
I need to watch that so I can get excited along with you guys.
there was a
Video games.
I know. Sorry, hold on.
Fuck
The,
video
the,
games.
the one character, the guy who plays like the whatever one is between the stormtrooper. I can't remember what his name is in the movie.
Boyega.
Boyega, yeah. He was telling the story about how he went on set in the Millennium Falcon for the first time, and Harrison Ford was there, and then he sat down. And he was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" And he was like, "Harrison, how does this work? What do we do?" And Harrison Ford just looked at him and was like, "It's all fake." I'm just picturing Harrison Ford looking you dead in the eye and be like, it's fake.
This
right?
is a movie.
This is not real.
That's funny.
Oh shit, Arrow stuff.
Oh,
Well, there
yeah,
wasn't a whole lot of Arrow.
And Flash stuff. Ooh.
They pretty much confirmed that Arrow. Well, they showed off Arrow's new suit.
And he's finally going to start going by Green Arrow now?
The first,
It took him
episode, the
fucking
first
4
episode of season 4
seasons?
is titled
What-
Green Arrow.
Did he like narrow down the color of his arrows? Why are
No,
they?
he was always green. He just, he was always green.
Is there a
always
red
went
arrow?
by the Arrow, except for the first season when he was called the Hood. And then...
Really?
Yeah, the first season he was called the Hood because he wears a hood. And then he started calling himself the Arrow.
So now
And now
being
he's
called
like,
Green
Green
Arrow.
Arrow.
But like he doesn't call himself Green Arrow, or his friends don't, just like the newspapers.
I don't know.
He's green like
The
apple
fucking the
drink.
Comic
bad
Con
name,
the
though.
Comic Con announcement was
Green
him
Arrow?
in costume on stage, like in character, and like he ends his little like speech with like, "I'll be protecting the city as the Green Arrow," and everyone lost their shit.
It's like the ending of
People
Iron
are
Man.
nerds. People are nerds. Hey,
Nerdcast. We should talk about video games.
video games.
I'm kind of enjoying talking about Comic-Con now. That was a good Comic-Con.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. A lot of stuff.
Everyone tells me that Comic Con is a shit show if you actually go. It's just a line con.
Yeah.
Just the lines are way too long. You can't get into any panels. And it's all
That's the
people
thing.
selling
Like,
shit.
predominantly, like people go to that for the panels, I think. And
Oh, we
Is
didn't even
anything
talk
like-
about the Evil Dead trailer.
Oh,
that
that
was so
looked-
fucking good.
Wait, what was that?
Ash versus Evil Dead.
Dude,
it's
what
the
is that?
start. It's a new
It's Bruce
TV
Campbell.
show
Oh, it's a TV show.
for
It's a
stars.
Burn Notice spin-off, yo.
Yeah, it's Burn. Chuck Finley fights zombies.
but it looked good. I mean,
Yeah, that
it
was-
looked,
you
it
should
looked
look that up.
incredibly.
He doesn't look as old as I thought he would. by this
Speaking of
point.
Burn Notice, I started watching Mr. Robot. Anybody watch that? Did we talk about that last week?
No,
No.
no. My dad called me one night and was like, "Have you seen the show, Mr. Robot?
I just
It's
saw
really
one
good."
episode. It's about hackers. It's not bad. It's on USA. Burn Notice. made me
Characters
think of
welcome.
that. That's what Burn Notice is from, right?
Yeah.
Me and Malia were watching that show, and like all these promos came on for all these other shows, and Malia was like, "This is like Lifetime for dudes. This shit looks terrible." And it's true. So much of the stuff on USA just looks so bad. But Mr. Robot's pretty cool. Christian Slater, he's sweet.
Dude,
Christian Slater?
I like
Yeah.
Burn Notice.
Oh my god.
You guys are missing out. This is like a hotly anticipated, talked about television show.
You need to speak up, Brad.
Oh, I'm saying maybe if you watch something without a comic book character, you would enjoy some Christian Slater.
I'd rather.
Maybe you
not
should actually
enjoy-
turn your knob up a little bit over there because you had to yell.
I don't know
before.
which one is mine.
Oh, great. Okay. Anyways,
I think you're number 3.
I got it.
moving on.
Christian Slater was in Heathers, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, he was.
He was in what?
Heathers.
How can you not like Christian Slater?
My roommates love that fucking movie, and I like.
The last Christian Slater movie I
It
watched
hurts me.
and loved was Broken Arrow.
Our most
Yeah, some John Woo shit.
our most
Word
famous
up,
clip
son.
was me doing Christian Slater.
Like from behind or what?
We are brothers, Robin of Locksley. That's the start of the Scooter Brothers trailer.
that's where you got that.
was Christian Slater.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, video games.
Suck.
I just played Batman, so let's talk about something else.
Well, let's talk about Rocket League. That's the hot game that we've
yeah,
all been playing,
Rocket
right?
Rocket League is the new hotness, apparently. Honestly, I have no idea what this is.
Soccer with cars.
I've been very out
Yeah,
of the
it's
loop.
exactly-
And that's one of the greatest
and
things
that's
about it
all
is
it
that
is.
it's such a simple game to describe to
Yeah.
someone. It's just soccer with RC cars.
Yeah.
That's all the game is.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, like the mechanics of the game are so simple. It's literally just driving.
Yeah,
your
they're
car and
so
hitting
hard
a
to
ball.
master. It's like
Yeah.
Quake.
And it's not even like there's any extraneous rules or anything from soccer. Like there's no out of bounds, there's no offsides, there's no penalty kicks or anything. It's just fucking driving around the field, hitting the ball, scoring goals. being badass.
And the core mechanics are so fun, and you really do seem like it really does feel like there's like this huge skill ceiling, you know, as far as what you can do.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
once you watch a couple YouTube videos of people actually playing the game for real, it's like, holy shit, how do they do that? Like, when I pull off shit like that, it was by accident.
Yeah.
But I see these dudes do it consistently because they've mastered how to play the game.
videos like it's MLG shit.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
crazy.
it's already in the fucking esports
like,
league.
yeah,
or
this
whatever.
is a game that I can see becoming
You can drive on walls.
an
Yeah,
esport.
Yeah, you can drive up the walls. All the like sides are slanted too, so you can like very easily just like drive up a wall, curve back down. You can drive on the ceiling for a little while.
It's a fucking sport.
Dude, the best part about this shit is
But-
when you get like a crazy save where like you drive up the wall over the goal, jump off the wall to like block a ball at the last second.
How
like,
consistent
it's
are
crazy.
you with stuff like that though? Like,
Yeah, man, it takes
for
practice.
how many times do you do that? How many times do you sail past a
Oh,
ball like an asshole?
This game is all about. That would have been so cool if I would have just
Yeah.
hit the
No,
ball.
but eventually when you're good, like you can tell from good players, like the whole point of the game is learning to know where the ball is going to be. Like you have to predict the ball's movement. It's very physics based.
Guys, this is the
Yeah.
So you
first
have to,
time
like-
we've ever talked about a sports
You
game
have to
on
like
this.
anticipate the ball's movement. You have to anticipate your own momentum.
Dude,
That's the gist of the game.
it's a
you know?
sports and a driving game. Two things we never talk.
The core mechanics are really fun, but do you think this might get a little old? Like, because
See,
it's
dude.
just it's like soccer.
It won
You're
as
just
long as you're
running
playing.
back and
It
forth.
How many
won-
different stadiums do they have?
It won as long as you're playing with people.
like-
They're all the same.
There's like 4 base stadiums, and then there's like different times of day and weather for some of them.
yeah, but they're all the same
There's not,
size.
yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
not like, dude. There's like
It'd be
nothing
cool if there was
to
some
this
variety
game.
in the map design or something.
I read a thing today that said they're gonna add some crazy maps
yeah,
as free DLC.
yeah, that
later.
would be great.
That would be cool.
But see, like from a
Is this free to
competitive
play, or
standpoint,
is this-
Well, it's
No.
free if you have PlayStation Plus.
from like a competitive standpoint, this game, you won't get bored of it if you're just playing with people like 3v3 real people.
Online
yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I played 2 matches online and I was like, okay,
Well,
I get it.
No, because like if you're playing with random people online, and I've played quite a bit of this game. Like if you're playing with random people online, everyone's just being a dick all the time. Like everyone is just gonna gun for the ball the whole time. Even your teammates, you're gonna be just getting in each other's way, not getting anything done. But once you're playing with friends, like actually organizing yourself and treating it more like a sport, like oh, you know, you guys go for the ball. I'm gonna sprint to our goal. In case they get to the ball first and hit it towards our goal, I can send it right back and stuff like that.
You can like
once you
center the ball, set it up for
Yeah.
somebody to score a goal.
Once you
So
start
it's another
becoming more
example of a
organized
game
and
that you
just stop fucking trying to
No,
gangbang the ball.
I
at
wouldn't
once.
say it's like factions or something where you absolutely have to be playing with people that you know. It just helps. I mean, I find this game fun in any form. Like even playing against the computer, I think is still fun.
I think this requires more teammate than factions. Because in factions, if you have an outstandingly good player, he can carry the team. But in this game, your own teammates can screw you a lot more. Like say, I'll give you an example. Say you got a clear shot where they go like the ball's gonna bounce right in front of you, and you have a clear line for it. Like if you're playing with your friends, you can tell them like, okay, that's my shot. Don't nobody touch it because I can hit it and get it on the goal. There's no one nearby. But then your fucking greedy ass teammate, if you're playing with randoms, is just gonna be a dick and hit it and achieve nothing. He's just gonna knock it out the way. It's gonna bounce around for a bit, and you're gonna be out on a goal that you could have gotten easily had you been communicating. You know?
I think the major difference is though, like in factions when you're losing, it's like the worst thing in the world. Like you just kind of hate your life. In this game, like I don't even fucking care what the score is. I'm just driving around hitting a ball.
Because
Like
the core
it's still
mechanics are
fun.
so fun.
Like just driving the car is fun. Like
Yeah.
it's entertaining. Like you get in
there's
the
never-
match and it's like 5-1. You're just like fuck, we got stomped.
Oh,
But
and something
you're
that's cool.
automatically like queuing for the next game. I don't know, man. Like I played the shit out of this when it was in beta, and I spent the last couple months like waiting for this game to come out, completely prepared to pay the full $15 up front to buy the game when it
Yeah.
came out.
Well,
Plus,
And I
it's,
still would have.
But
it's
it's-
crossplay with PC, so you know there's gonna be a pretty big community of players.
it's
Yeah.
really good that this was free with PlayStation.
We should
Plus,
do a
though.
community
because
night with
I don't
this.
think
Oh.
people would be talking about this game if it wasn't free.
I would.
Well, so I played some of the. Doesn't look like there's too much to this game, and
There's
that's
not.
fine. But like this game also already
but, like,
existed.
Competitively talking, like if you think
As
about
what?
if you think of a competitive game like
What were
Counter
you gonna
Strike, all the top tier players are all using the same guns. They're all following the same strategies. Run to this point, look at this corner, throw a grenade here, and then move forward. Same shit.
No, what I'm saying is like this game already existed. This developer made this exact same game for PS3 under a different title.
Oh yeah. It's like super acrobatic, turbo powered, goat sucking.
It is the same thing. It's not like they added anything as far as I can tell.
Well,
look up footage of the PS3 game and it looks like
They
this.
did better by naming it
How
Rocket
could they
League
get away with
I
it,
can actually
though?
remember that.
Yeah.
But they could have called it Supersonic Rocket Powered Battle Cars HD. It's just so weird that this one is so hyped and they've already made this game. This is like, it's like the 2016 version because it's a sports game.
Yeah.
It's like the new Madden. It's just so strange.
So
I've never seen a developer do something like
It's
that.
a triumph in marketing, then, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they got it. That beta built up a lot of word of mouth for the game.
Yeah.
They got it. They changed the title to something a lot catchier. They got it as a free game for PlayStation
It's not
Plus.
catchier. The name,
It's just
the name
easier to
still
remember.
Sucks. It's just
What's wrong
simpler.
with Rocket League?
It doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't match what's happening. Like when you said
There's no
when I saw
rockets.
you
Yeah,
playing
so
this,
it's not like they've made up a new sport name.
You could
or
call
anything
Twisted
like
Metal Rocket League. It
Shai
makes more
says
sense.
this is actually a
Who fucking
sequel.
cares?
No, I know-
What are we
I know.
talking about?
No. I'm not saying it's the same game. I know it's a sequel, but like it's the same
Supersonic
game.
Racing
it said
rocket
25
cars?
years after the tournament we last saw in supersonic battle powered rocket cars. The world has changed, but the rules of the sport have not.
The politics.
For whoever scores the goal.
It's a little cringy too. Like the name of that last game. Like they saw a Starburst commercial or a Skittles commercial. Like this is what the kids like. Crazy weird names like this.
Oh,
and
no,
they just took
oh.
it too far.
I got some more praise for this game. A couple more things.
Okay.
If you're playing an online match and a player drops out, he gets immediately replaced by AI. So you won't be short. Of course, that can be bad for you if the AI is too good or
The AI
sucks
is
because
good.
because it won't listen to your instructions. And one more thing is all the unlocks for the game are cosmetic. Like you get hats and flames for your car and little flags and shit. But the way those unlock is whenever you finish a match, you randomly get one.
Yeah.
So
Is it- wait, was it
so whenever
so
you're playing
even-
with other people, everyone's gonna have different shit because even if you're playing with people at the same level, it's not like they all have unlocked the same things. Everyone has different things, so everyone's wearing different shit.
And there's an incentive just for like finishing the game. Like you don't care because at the end, either way, you get something.
Whoa.
Something new.
Was the first game really called Super Rocket Powered Acrobatic Battle Cars
Yeah.
or something
Probably.
like?
Supersonic, acrobatic.
I thought y'all were.
Powered
I
battle
thought,
It's like,
cars.
and it's a huge surprise that nobody ever heard of it, right?
I thought you were
mean,
making a joke.
No,
But is
Like,
there
yeah.
any new mechanics
gonna
that this
remember
one
that?
added?
I couldn't say
I
because I
have no
didn't play the
idea.
first one.
Nobody played the first one.
I played the first one. Like there was like a demo of it back.
There's
in the day.
like front, side, and backwards boosts, like a double jump. You can
Are you
boost forward.
just like pissed off because they got a second chance and you don't believe in second chances?
No, I'm not even upset. It's just super weird. I've never seen anything like this.
I mean,
The thing is,
I don't think you should focus so much on that. I just think you should play the fucking game.
Supersonic Acrobatic
This is me
Battle
playing it
Cars.
right here.
Oh, no wonder it sucks.
Well, I mean,
Dude,
I haven't played that much.
Have you followed me on YouTube lately? I got that.
I was just talking about the differences in hype. It just seems really strange to me. But no, it's very fucking fun. I mean, it's. I mean, I think if you like sports games and you'll play like them over and over again, you probably like this.
And this
too.
is a lot simpler
think-
than a sports game. You know, like there's no rosters.
I think a lot of people I know.
there's
who
no managing
don't-
aspect.
I think a lot of people I know who don't touch sports games. would
Because this
play
is
the
very
shit out of
arcadey.
it.
This is
That'd be
very
me.
arcadey.
Like I feel like putting it in that like, oh, that's a sports game kind of box is stupid.
No, but I'm talking about like I'm not saying
This is
sports game as like a negative.
This is like
I'm
the
not trying to put
Punch-Out.
it down. FIFA's like the best selling fucking game every year. What
Yeah,
I'm saying is the people who will like I don't need to play other games. I can just play this time.
Dude,
But like I don't
that-
think you are going to be playing this a month from now.
Dude, that's my fucking roommate. Like he lost his shit. Like this is all he's done since this game came out last week. Is like play.
Is he really good at it?
He's getting better.
Yeah, I saw his
Um,
stats. He has like a million.
He's fucking
saves.
crazy, dude. Like this is all he used to play like Heroes of the Storm and like Counter-Strike Go and like he has forsaken all of that for Rocket League.
As long
It's
as
ridiculous.
you have people to play with, it's a fun game.
We have a whole community to play with.
I just wish they added a mode or a map style that would kind of change the flow because it's like a
Differentiated?
hockey game or a basketball or a soccer game where it's just kind of non-stop until it's done, and then you start the next.
So
match
is this
and it's the same again?
Are you saying this is the only mode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The only
this
thing
is
you
the
can really
game?
change is the number of players.
If-
So you can do like 1v1, 2v2.
What's the max?
The
4v4.
4v4.
And I do not
4v4 is-
recommend it.
It's
That
crazy.
those two extra cars get in the way more than they help.
Yeah.
3v3 is like ideal.
3v3 is the
There is one cool thing which I don't know how long this footage is going to go. It's after this match, but which I don't think is going to finish. If you go into the training, have y'all done that?
Yeah.
You go into the training. There's challenges. There's goalie challenges
Yeah.
for all the difficulties. There's striker challenges and aerial challenges, and some of that stuff is actually pretty fun. It's just you can really practice. Taking shooting the ball from different angles at different speeds, or like trying to block a shot coming in at different angles, different speeds, different arcs and whatnot. And it's just pretty fun to try to it's just because the core mechanics are so goddamn.
I think the
fun.
core mechanic is like we're just really exciting because it's like you're moving so fast and the goal is to hit a moving target, and that's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
that is the
and
mechanic.
and the ball like being as super bouncy as it is, like that is not as easy as it
And
sounds.
don't be
Like-
misled. Sometimes it's better to just stand still for a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the one thing I've noticed about playing against computer players. The one thing that's more difficult about playing against the AI is that they are way better at defense than any human I've ever played. Like humans, it seemed like don't know how to goalie or even care to at all, ever.
It's just hard.
But there's always an AI car like in these AI games that is just like Johnny on the spot with saves. It's ridiculous.
So now that you are clearly fans of this game, how excited are you for Metroid Prime Blast Ball?
What the fuck?
what the fuck is that?
It's basically this, but
Oh my God.
you're a Metroid Prime character. You didn't see the footage from E3?
No.
Isn't there a game on Steam called Hyper Disco
didn't-
Robot
You didn't
Robot
see
Dodgeball? Isn't
Brad's
that something like
dreams
that?
get crushed when he thought they were about to
A new
announce a new
Metroid
Metroid
game?
game, and it was like Metroid Prime. What is it even
Blast Ball.
called? Blast Ball.
It's
like
the same thing. It's basically this, but instead of cars, you're Federation soldiers.
I missed a lot of the
You're a
Nintendo
fucking chunky
stuff,
Samus.
but I feel like I heard about it. But yeah, what
But
the fuck
Blast
is-
Ball is a mode in Federation Force.
The point is, it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Why not just play the soccer mode in Anarchy? Oh, I stopped here because these two AI cars were just running into each other, and they weren't even.
Oh,
Who will give up
Dude,
first?
that's weird.
crispy. All right, so one more thing. In the game, whenever the ball's in the air,
Yeah.
if time runs out, the ball will keep going. Like the game won't end until the ball hits the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the beta, I saw a video of these dudes when the beta was about to end. They like all surrounded the ball in a circle and just nudged it close enough to where it was always in the air.
It was just
and they
sitting
just
on
they
the-
just sat there for a couple hours. And they were tweeting the guys on the beta, like the guys on the beta were like, "Guys, thanks for enjoying the beta." And they're like, "Nah, bitch, we're still going."
Her game hasn't ended.
Except you can't play or you're gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna end.
They got kicked out eventually, but I just thought it was funny.
Well,
Yeah.
too bad we're done because I'm about to start the training challenges. But yeah, it's. I'm gonna broadcast a bunch of supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars.
Two.
No, the
original?
first one. All you fuckers playing this. I'm gonna
Oh,
play
yeah.
the OG.
You're going fucking hipster.
You should
with
just
it.
you should broadcast one night and say you're playing Rocket League, but
not-
secretly go play the old one, but not tell
Sorry, I
anybody.
had to drop the resolution a little bit, guys. But
Oh man,
It's a good game.
looks fun.
dude, I'm gonna check some message boards. I'm wondering if there's any like purists that are like, man, they ruined everything.
Dude.
Like,
I wonder if they exist. Do you think they exist?
Who is that sad?
They're a big
individual?
fan. They're like the original had this cult following. And that's why the message board talk about this one was brewing so much because that community sort of really came out saying, "Hey, pay attention to this Rocket League game."
Yeah,
Someone
Robot-
should try Robot Roller.
yeah,
Derby
that's the
Disco
game I was
Dodgeball.
talking about earlier. That's on Steam. I might pick it up if it's cheap.
Is that a real game?
Yeah. I think it's kind of like this, except it's a first-person shooter.
This is that striker mode. Yeah, let's move on.
All right, let's move on. What else we have?
I would
Brad,
like to talk about a game.
Do you actually have footage of this game?
I have footage of all my games.
Wonderful.
Crispy, I love you.
'Cause we've talked.
Love you too, Carlos.
This is why we have Carlos on because he
I
says random
I
things.
finally played a healthier chunk of this game, so I'm confident enough to talk about it now. And it's a game I think Crispy's interested in, so I'd like to talk about it now. And that's
Fuck yeah.
Chroma League?
Chroma Squad.
Squad.
Chroma
You don't-
Squad.
Are you serious, Brad? Are you serious?
We were talking about Rocket League.
Super awesome Chroma Blast.
Chroma Squad. This is basically okay. Let me.
There's this game I really want to talk about, although I can't remember what it's called.
It's called Chroma Squad.
It's super deep.
It's Power Rangers, except you're not playing Power Rangers. You're playing a troop of a group that's trying to put on a Power Rangers television
a production
show.
company.
A production company. There you go. When the footage starts here in a second, you're probably going to see me before the battle starts, kind of messing around in menus. And the reason I want to show that is because click the button, Chris. Is because
he says click the button.
I know. It just I see him because I can see the mouse cursor. I just get so nervous. Like, when is he gonna click it? When is he gonna click it?
Mom, get the camera.
Oh, he has to wait. Sorry.
For a good transition.
Sorry. So one of the cool things is you can name all the stuff. You name your production company, you name your team, you name your characters, you pick their attributes, you pick what they look like. You even name all your like special attacks.
Is that like your Zordon?
This looks like a mobile game, homie.
Yeah, like you have your own Zord. Chai came up with a brilliant name. So everything's based around the podcast. Everybody, not Carlos. There's only 5. Sorry. There's no Carlos.
Carlos is a villain.
But no, there is like a Silver Ranger who's not officially part of your team.
Oh, of course, there's always a fucking Sixth Ranger. Like,
so that's Carlos. But the cool thing is you get to name everything. You get to name like your shouts and stuff. So like Chai Tai came up with this really clever thing where my shout when I summon my thing is "Here's the thing."
Here's the thing.
And the Zord is called the thing.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, like
that's good.
So like before I transform, there's like a button that appears, and you can even name that. And I haven't named. Can I have 5 seconds of silence? and then when you actually transform, the thing we shout is jet airplane. It's pretty good. But so you're running this production studio, so you have to worry about the equipment. There's a crafting system, there's a shop system, and it's all like way deeper than I thought. You know, there's stats. You know, like when you craft a material, there's a random chance for an extra magic stat. Think like Diablo or Torchlight or something. And there's a lot of basically. And there's like skill trees. They're relatively simple, but based on the stats surrounding your weapons and equipment and these skills and these studio upgrades, which give like passive bonuses to all your parties. Like you are, and because everybody's a different class, you are going to have like different builds. Like for example, Nick is my scout, and I'm specking him to be like a dodging kind of guy. Like he can move like all the way across the map. Like in a single thing, he has a stun move. So if I see a pack of enemies that I want stunned, he can move all the way across there, stun them, and since his dodge is so high, he's still relatively safe. But the thing is, it gets kind of crazy. There's like social media that you have to manage. There's emails that you can actually reply to that actually changes stuff.
You're managing the Power Rangers social media?
No,
you actually
the television
hire
show.
The television
like
show.
You have to promote the show.
You actually hire agencies. You can choose between different agencies. You can even customize your. You can choose between different agencies that have different styles of promotion. Like one of them is like, social media Dave, and he's going to help you out, but he doesn't cost a lot, and his bonuses might not be that great. Like the one I'm using now is like my dad's friend who's like also an accountant. Like that's what it's called. Like he's doing like my promotion right now, and there's a lot of interesting systems here that kind of everything is synergized really well. It's really addictive, just kind of messing around with your party, getting them all set up and picking your skills and whatnot.
So like
it kind of sounds like Game Dev Story, which was the mobile game.
Yeah. Kind of like Game Dev Story, except you're actually going into these battles. I'm about to start a battle right here, and they're actually like episodes of television.
From like the managing aspect.
So are like the enemies you're fighting like stunt people that you hire?
Yeah, there's stunt people you hire, and it's starting to get a little confusing. Like, is this a stunt guy? Like the story is just you even pick your characters. For some reason, I'm a beaver. I just liked his starting stats, so I chose the beaver.
Brad's a beaver.
Nick's like a monkey dude. Crispy's like this big muscly bald black man, and
Oh, it makes total sense.
Pretty accurate.
Nolan is also a black man, but he has blonde hair.
What?
He's
Chris-
like Mighty Joe John the Black.
But the actual combat is, just a. At first, it seems like a pretty simple, straightforward, just like strategy RPG, grid-based strategy RPG. Think like XCOM or something. But there actually is some like complexity there. There's a lot of different types of skills. All your different characters seem very different. I'd say like the unique hook to this one is that you have a teamwork button, and in its most simplest form,
Press buttons for teamwork?
Yes. In its most simplest form, you position one unit next to a bad guy, and you hit the teamwork button, and then he strikes like a pose, and then you move like another guy up to him, attack that unit, and then you do like a double attack. And the thing is, you can have multiple people do like, and if you get all 5 of your guys in position, and they're all like teamworked, and then you have one guy attack, they do like their finishing move where it changes the. Everyone shoots up into the sky. It's all like a Power Rangers, like super attack, right? But the thing is, you're running a television show, and you have fans, and you're trying to increase your audience ranking. And there's even this thing called these directors' requests, and those are basically like special goals that you bring in more audience if you do the special goal. Like for example, every round, I want you to hit like the main boss before you kill him. Also, kill him with a finishing move. Also, none of your guys drop below 50% health. And if you could hit all of these, your audience ranking is really high, which they convert to dollars after that episode is over. So like if you do a finishing move and don't actually finish off an enemy, they'll be like minus 50% or minus 50 audience because you did the finishing move too early. Like that's just a lame
People
thing
stop
to do.
watching.
Yeah.
So you're managing your ratings real time?
Yeah, you're managing your ratings real time, and it's cool because it encourages you to do different things in battles. The other cool thing that the teamwork button can do is what I think I'm about to do.
I hope the show isn't on NBC.
If you do the teamwork option, not in front of an enemy, and you move another one of your units like onto that square, what he'll do is he'll increase the movement range of that second player, because what he'll do is he'll kind of like throw him into the air. So like if I walk, I can't reach an enemy, right? But I move my one unit kind of halfway towards him, do the teamwork button, and then move the next guy over. He can fling him towards the enemy, so I can get into range to actually attack him. It's actually a clever little, just modifier like that. A clever little option that you have in battle to really make it seem like you have at any given.
What's the percentage between like management and these strategy battle things?
Like the actual fights versus the metagame.
Well, I mean, the management stuff is just basically all your metagame. It's all the stuff you do in between battles.
Like XCOM, right?
Well, like XCOM, exactly. But everything is so well synergized that if you're not doing that stuff poorly, like if you're not crafting and buying the right stuff and getting the right upgrades, you might not be as successful in battle. And if you're not as successful in battle, it'll be harder to achieve the director's wants, and it'll be harder. And every time like one of your guys falls in battle, you also lose audience. So you want to do good, because you have to like there's an upkeep for all your things, like the agency you hire to promote you, your studio upgrades. Like I purchased healthcare, and it was like a flat rate at first, and then it was a one-time purchase at first, but then every episode they takes away a little bit of your money, but at the same time everybody has like a 10% hit points boost. You know what I mean? Like it's like a passive bonus to all my fighters.
Wait, so the point of these strategy battles is not to defeat the enemy; it's to
do it in
to make the
style.
show.
Yeah.
Well,
so could there be a
you're
situation in
supposed
which
to defeat the enemy because you're filming a fight scene.
has there been anyone in which you're supposed to lose?
No. I mean,
that would
not that I've
make
seen
for
so far.
a
That's what I
specific
was gonna
story.
say. Is there like some kind of continuous like plot line
Yes,
that you're
there
making
is a plot line.
with like these episodes where it's like, okay, in this episode there's like a consequence from the last battle you had.
Well, it's
like,
getting really weird because that stuff's sort of seeping in. Like, remember I told you there's emails and stuff?
Yeah.
And you could actually choose the way you reply to these emails. And like, I remember when the show first started, it was my crew saying, "Man, fuck this dude. We're gonna go start our own company."
Yeah.
And that guy was like, "No, bitch, I'm gonna fucking sue you. You can't do this to me." And I eventually got an email from him, and he was like, motherfucker, you're stealing my idea. Well, like, you can't do this. And you could choose between 3 different responses. You could be like, whatever, dude. You know, we can prove that, you know, we're not, you know, we'll take you to court. We'll take this to court or whatever. Yeah. Or one of them was like, oh, it's okay. We'll give you a little bit of our money each episode. And one of them was kind of, it was another option.
Like
I choose, I'll see you in court. Yeah, it was like Alpha Protocol. I didn't even really know what that meant. But then, like, later in the story, they started talking about, like, ooh, we got to be in court. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there.
That's crazy. Like, there could be, like, a trial that
you're going to have a
just,
lawyer
like,
or retainer or something. It's going to be another expense.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright makes an appearance.
There is a different one other type of, like, battle, and that's the mech battles, which are different. It's not like this. It goes to, like, a big screen where it's just you and the kaiju or whatever you're fighting. But there, it's really simple, but it's like this cool... It's this cool system. I feel like I've kind of seen it before, but basically you have like an attack, and after each blow, it reduces the percentage that you'll land it, kind of like in Chrono Cross. You know, you can keep an attack up, but you're increasing the likelihood that you're going to miss. And once you miss, you drop your combo, and then the enemy goes. You can keep it going. You can keep rolling the dice if you think you can keep that combo going without missing. But if you defend after a long combo, it'll add like a proportional defense boost. So it's good to kind of keep that combo going and going, should I try to finish him off, or should I defend and get that extra defense boost? And then you have special abilities and stuff. It's actually really cool.
Thing.
Oh, my finishing move is called 4-player minute.
Yes.
And it lasts 2 hours. It's like a Dragon Ball Z.
How involved does the community get in naming these things?
You know, just here and there in chat. The thing is, I did some of these broadcasts were pre-recorded, so they couldn't really help. So there were points where I was just kind of staring at the screen, trying to figure it out. Yeah. It's cool. It's fun. I got kind of addicted to it, and
so what about the voices, huh?
The voices.
The voices.
So yeah.
Tell me about the voices,
so
Brad.
I'll do the voice. This is how I talk. I'm the leader of the group, Brad.
The beaver.
Nick.
That's how the beaver said.
Nick talks like this.
That was awful. I'm disappointed.
It's more just kind of gruff because I've talked. Oh, here's the mech battle.
That's cool.
And the and defending is kind of like this timing thing, like a golf meter or whatever. It reduces the amount of damage you take. But Crispy's voice is, "Hey guys."
That sounds like you.
He's the striker. He's like a very strong assault dude with a high critical damage percentage. He's really strong.
So that's
he
what
can one-shot a lot of minions. Which, by the way, they're like muddies or whatever. They look like putties. They're all gray,
but they're made of mud.
I can't believe. I like how you're like casually referencing things from Power Rangers. Like anyone actually remembers. He's like, they sound like putties, and I'm like, I haven't.
Nolan's the nerd voice. Like, hey guys. Chris Davis is the. He's got a country accent, and.
Man,
I guess
Brad.
that's it. When the Silver Ranger shows up, which I call Carlos, this is a Russian accent.
Yeah. Do you want to do the rest of podcast in Russian accent?
There's also kind of like
this for it.
What do you mean everybody remembers Power Rangers? I remember they were
also
called
Cerebro talks like this.
I remember very little bit of Power Rangers, and I was a huge Power Rangers fan when I was a wee child.
All right, but yeah,
let me tell you this, Brad. This looks dope. I'm sold. How much is it?
$15. All indie games are $15. What is your problem?
I love how Carlos is wearing a belt buckle with a dollar sign that spins, and you tell him it's $15, and he's like, "Nope."
How much did the belt cost?
He didn't make
$6.
He didn't make all that money by spending it.
This is a devil lawyer, by the way, that got blown up before the mech fight.
Is there a lot of enemy variety, or have you started to see repeats already?
Well, the minions,
obviously, but like the main ones.
But like I fought like a dude. Like the bosses are all kind of have their own. Like there's the Transit Mancer, who's like this dude who wears like a traffic cone, like wizard hat, and he has. and he has a red, yellow. He has like a light stoplight weapon.
Transit man.
Yeah.
So he uses like transportation magic.
Yes. No, he'll do like green light or red light or yellow light. He'll do
God.
different attacks.
Here's
what I'm gonna say.
name.
It's a really great idea, and all the trappings are great. By the way, soundtrack's fucking amazing. I think it's got a lot of style to it, like a lot of the systems. One thing that I find a little bit suspect, and you hate to hear this with an idea so clever, is that I think the writing is a little kind of misses the mark a little bit.
Like the dialogue and stuff.
It's just the dialogue.
Is it too similar to the real thing? That's what I could see?
No, I mean, it thinks it's funnier than it actually is.
Oh, it's one of those.
maybe the writing just doesn't seem on point. Like I could see Double Fine making this game. And
So rather
the
than
funniest shit in the world, but these guys are a little.
Does it seem like the writing, rather than make fun of the genre of thing this is just try to be it? Like thinking it could be funny in its own.
It's
like,
just
as it is.
the jokes.
Some
a lot
fall
of the
flat.
jokes just don't land. Like they tried to make a kind of a Gamergate type.
No,
of joke.
Super Time Force was fucking hilarious. That's one of the funniest games
Super
I've ever
Time Force
played.
was funny.
Oh yeah.
It's not like that. It's. I even think there might be like some translation issues. It's just. I don't know what
Wait,
it
is
is.
this a?
It's
is
fucking
this
Russian
like
or
an
something.
Eastern game? Or?
No, I don't know where this was made. It's just the writing's just not that good.
Oh,
Cameroon.
I guess the only other question I had was: Is there like a big bad villain character like
I don't know.
your
Yeah,
main
I'm so early in the game.
antagonist?
I'm in season 2. So.
There's not like a Rita Repulsa or a Lord Zed or somebody.
There are some returning characters. Yeah.
That's not fucking weird. Nick.
Oh, a lot of the villains were like, "You have not defeated me," that kind of thing. So like it's like sometimes it's really funny. Like that devil.
Yeah,
The devil.
lawyer.
He's like. The devil lawyer's like, "This is not my final form," and then he leaves. And then Crispy the White Ranger was like, "Well, the devil does have many faces."
They could have gone with a joke about lawyers filling out many forms. Like, this is even my final form. And then he pulls out a sheet of paper from a briefcase. That would have been a better joke. See, I could
like
write.
his final form.
Yeah, like you gotta fill these out too, motherfucker.
Oh
See?
my.
Put me on Conan, baby. What?
All the trappings are really funny. Just some of the dialogue doesn't
Thanks, Carlos.
falls flat. But that's Chroma Squad. It's cool. I'll definitely be playing more.
So basically, the fact that Carlos can write funnier jokes on the fly right here than that
is a
game.
bad sign.
It is kind of.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was made-
kind of an indicator.
And
of
Carlos
quality.
isn't even funny.
It's kind of what?
It was made by Brazilian devs, which might be why some of the jokes.
Maybe-
maybe
lost
some
in
of
translation.
Yeah, lost in translation.
Or just that their sense of humor is different. Like they love fucking that show with the green grasshopper, the red grasshopper man and shit. You know?
Oh,
Just
Kamen
Chavo Ocho.
Rider. Or?
Yeah, that's what they find funny in Brazil.
Oh wait, what? What are you talking about?
They're weird. They're weird.
Oh. Its heart's in its right place. I'll say that.
Oh, you know what I was saying earlier about enemies starting to repeat after a while? That could actually be an inside joke because on the show, they would start to recycle the suits. Like they would just switch out the head or something to make up a completely different
I don't
monster.
remember
Yeah,
way too
yeah.
much about this show.
Keep budget.
Sorry.
I mean,
Anyways.
I might get it, you know.
They were sued by Saban. Or Saban or what?
They were sued by Saban?
You know
I always thought it was
Saban.
Saban.
You know Saban. He wrote the music for the fucking Power Rangers. The fucking sick riff at the beginning. He wrote that shit. Dude's a
I don't
fucking-
remember. I don't
Dude's a
remember,
fucking
I don't remember
prodigy.
anything about Power Rangers at this point. I'm just realizing.
Well, there were 5 of them.
I remember-
They were different colors.
I remember that.
They were teenagers.
Thank you.
They were
Chrissy.
teenagers with attitude.
And
Thank
they
you
were all
for
like
that.
30 years old.
I can't remember the theme song. I
Fucking
can't remember
Billy
the,
was like
outside
45.
of outside of some of the main characters' names. I can't remember anything. I can't remember the name of the villains. I couldn't remember anything.
I gotta say, I feel like this game was designed for mobile, though.
Yeah, you can
Really?
tell right
But like
away.
just some of the UI choices they've made seem very strange. Like this is gonna end up on an iPad eventually, which I think it'd be fine on that. But yeah, some of it's a little weird. Like look at that back button, how big it is on the bottom there.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Obviously for a touchscreen.
Yeah.
Like.
All right,
Yeah.
Brad. There was another game you wanted to talk about briefly,
Sure,
right?
briefly, yeah. I want to talk about. I mean, I wasn't planning on playing a bunch of Metroid, but I did. When I finished Batman, I also finished.
Batman, you say?
Right when I finished Batman, I also finished Codename Steam, and I was just kind of like in a game finishing mood. You know how it is. Like, hey man, I'm knocking these games out before I start another big game. Let's finish up what I've already started.
I'm always in a game finishing mood.
So what I had done was I had started. I was like, I'm going to finish up Metroid Prime 2 because I had started earlier in the year, and sometimes when you put a game like that down for a long time, it's really hard to get back into, especially because I was at the point of Metroid Prime 2. I'm just not going to look at the screen. I was at that point in Metroid Prime 2 where I had finished all the areas and bosses. I was at the point. It was basically the equivalent of find all the artifacts from Metroid Prime 1. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I was at that same point. Find all the Sky Temple keys. So I was like, I need to finish this up, and I did. And then I was like, well, let's start at Metroid Prime 3 for lols, just to see the differences. And then, after the news happened that we'll talk about later, I was like, I'm going to play some Nintendo games. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just play Metroid Prime 3. So I started playing Metroid Prime 3. I actually continued from a save that I had from, like, last year or whatever, or a year and a half ago, where I played
how did you do that?
A couple hours.
How would you do I can't... I would just be like, fuck it, I'm starting.
No, I originally started from the beginning, but then I realized what I had played was I had played through the tutorial area.
Oh,
and I was like, why do that again? Because the game gets good after it's done. So I popped in my corruption.
That's when
disc.
you leave the ship and land on the planet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When you get out of that first area. After that first escape sequence or whatnot. So I started playing this, and you know what? It's really good. I was worried that it was just kind of looked like Metroid Prime 2, but this one actually does look quite a bit better than Metroid Prime 2.
Were you playing the trilogy, Metroid Prime trilogy on?
Well, Metroid Prime 2 did, but I actually popped in my corruption disc because, like I said, I had a save on the corruption.
Wait, you're playing
disc.
on the actual corruption disc? Oh, that was a Wii game originally. I forgot 3 came out on the Wii. I thought it was a GameCube game.
And the big difference is there's a lot more of the motion control stuff because this was kind of designed around the Wiimote. So there's a lot of...
Does it work any better?
Flip the switch and...
It's smart.
It's actually kind of cool.
Stuff,
it's smart. Yeah, it's smart stuff.
Also, your grappling hook, the way you pull out enemy shields.
It's not. It works well. You actually fling the nunchuck and then you
grab onto their shield and then yank him back.
Yank it back to
That's cool.
pull it off. Cool. It feels good. That part does. I still don't like aiming with the Wiimote. One of the problems is I have like this, like a chair... Like a comfy chair with like big arm rests, right?
Yeah.
You can't play it in that because you're moving your arm around to like aim and shit. Well, so I had to like get out a fucking stool to play this guy.
Nobody really likes using the Wii remote for anything that requires any kind of precision. It's not.
No,
it's not comfortable.
I think the Wii remote made all these games a lot easier because of how precise it is.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's imprecise. I'm saying it's not comfortable.
Yeah, it's not comfortable. That's the thing. It's not fucking comfortable. And at times it can really be frustrating when you're in the heat of the moment. I really do wish I could get these working on an emulator so I could play with the fucking mouse and keyboard, because the reason that this Wiimote stuff is tolerable is because aiming was so hard to do in the GameCube versions of the game.
because you have to like half press the shoulder button and then press it all the way if you wanted to strafe or something.
If it was just like proper, dual analog, it would be fine, but it's not.
Have you found that the mechanic where you like supercharge your suit and the screen turns black and white, I don't remember what it's called.
It drains your health.
It makes the game really easy though. Like it makes boss fights really easy.
So, but that's the trade-off because you don't have a lot of, maybe later on in the game when you have a lot more health, but earlier on in the game when I'm
still early on the game. I haven't played a lot of it. I'm probably at the same part you are. You're on that Skyhook section,
Sky
right?
Temple, yeah.
Like every time I put on that mode, it's like win mode. Like nothing stops me, and I just think it makes the game easy.
Depends. Like for enemy weak points and stuff, it is pretty good.
I think the game will be better without it.
You're basically wasting an energy tank to use it. It drains your health, so it's kind of a trade-off. If you have not really kind of gotten down the boss's pattern, you're kind of like playing with fire, messing around with
but once you know and you
once you know and you maybe start a boss fight over it can go really quick. And this game does seem a little bit easier than Metroid Prime 2, I think. But so some of the new things in this game, which I never played much of this back in the day, and I'm sort of figuring it all out now. I think the big difference is you always have your ship with you, and it's not just you don't just land on your planets and have these ships, but your ships have upgrades and stuff, and it's not because you're flying around in your ship. It's because you can call in your ship to do different like bombing runs and stuff, and a lot of the progression might be locked around something that involves you calling in your ship to like bomb this satellite, but you need to take out the
destroy the
anti-air.
anti-air guns.
Yeah,
and
that
shit.
you might need to take out a couple of anti-air guns in different areas before you can call your ship in to do like this bombing run that will progress you through the environment. So at first it feels like a lot more linear than I think the first two, but then you realize the idea is to kind of unlock all these different like ship positions in an area possibly for your ship and to kind of fly around to different parts of it.
Was that something that was introduced in 2? Because I don't remember really anything having to do with the ship. Okay, so it was introduced in
this is
one.
3. It's the new hook for this one, I'd say.
Okay. I just thought you kind of implied that there was something similar to it in 2. Because there was nothing like really significant about the way, like there was no ship mechanics at all in Metroid Prime 1. Was that the same in the second one?
Yeah, same with the second one. Also,
the second one is the flipping between the light and the dark.
Flipping between the light and dark worlds, which was a cool idea. Now that I finished that game, ultimately, I think that mechanic was not as cool as I really wanted it to be.
I never had a problem with that or found it annoying like a lot of people say they did.
I mean, I don't think it's annoying, but it can be tedious, like all the backtracking that you do.
I'm still looking forward to playing 2.
There's rarely clever puzzles that involve like both worlds, like you might see in Link to the Past, Overworld or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just kind of another realm that you have to worry about. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool, but not that. But I still think my favorite Metroid Prime game is
1.
I think that's the best.
They're all
one.
amazing though.
They're like. I remember people were a little down on this one because it seemed a little bit more linear. But now that I kind of understand the flow of the game and what they're going for, I don't really have a problem with that. I think this one is pretty fun. I think that they improved enemy design in this one, and the enemies are just, and maybe even some of the bosses are a little more fun to fight because you're using your grappling hook, to pull this off, and then they just kind of a little bit on some of the feel, like the kinetics of it and stuff. Like it just feels better. I don't know how to describe it other than that. But
I also noticed there's like a more of an abundance of like small, fast-moving enemies. Yeah. It's like they seem to know that aiming it's easier with the Wii remote, so we can put in enemies that maybe move a little more erratically than they did on the first 2 games. Because players are not going to be able to fight him better.
And when I start a boss, I'm always usually really frustrated because it always seems like they have so much health. But once you kind of figure it out, it actually doesn't go. It's actually not too hard. But it's fun. I'm gonna finish this game. This is what I've been kind of playing while waiting for that Witcher patch. But yeah,
cool.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm looking forward to going back and playing 2. I played 1 like when was that, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I'm looking forward to playing 2. I mean, I have the trilogy, so I will be returning to it eventually. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, I know Carlos played a few things you wanted to talk about, right, Carlos?
Yeah.
So we'll check in with Carlos, see what he's been up to in his hiatus from the show. And while we're on break, I would like to urge you guys, if you're watching us live, we are doing a survey to see which consoles you guys are playing specific high-profile games on this season. So Nightbot will post a link in chat, or if someone in chat could post a link, that'd be great. Go vote in that. Let us know which systems you're picking certain games up for. We'd appreciate it. It'll help us plan out like community nights and things like that. Because there's gonna be some big games, big multiplayer games this fall. Anyways, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll check in with Carlos. We'll even talk about Iwata. Yeah, stick with us. We'll be back.
Peace. Bye.
All right, I'm recording. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. You guys your mic situation figured out over there, Carlos?
Yeah, I got it.
You could probably pull it back a little bit. I know you've gotten a little rowdy in this in this episode already. I think it's the outfit. Anyways, let's we have some Patreon questions this week.
Ooh.
But before we do that, there's plenty of news. Oh, actually, before we do that, Carlos, you've been playing some classics. Right?
Some recent classics and some classics that are a little more classic. So I just recently picked up Shadow Warrior on PS4, and I played that before on PC.
Shadow Warrior?
Yeah, the new one.
Oh,
the
okay. I was
one.
thinking of
played a
Road
little bit of
Warrior.
Nah.
I was like, oh.
I played it before on PC for like an hour, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't play a lot of it because I can only play when I'm here at Brad's. But now that I have it on PS4, I've been playing a lot more of it.
I didn't like the start of it.
It's good. Like the PS4 version, it runs really well. Like it looks good because I know the PC version had some problems. Like it would run sluggishly with some cards, and it's 60 frames per second. Of course, it's a little harder to like aim with a controller.
What is this game?
It's a first-person shooter from the guys that did Hard Reset. It's very arcadey.
I think it just has a generic ass name, so I'm having trouble deciding.
Shadow
it's not
Warrior was an
really
old school Doom era shooter.
It's more like Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
The original Shadow Warrior
kinda
was
Oh,
like a
over the top.
Asian.
is this the one where you have
Duke Nukem.
katanas and shit? Too?
Yeah.
It was like a racist Duke
His
Nukem
name's
3D.
Wang or something,
We
right?
played
Yeah,
that
Lo
at PAX
Wang.
Prime.
Yeah.
But like the game has a lot of swordplay in it. Like you have your guns, you shoot them a lot, but you also use the sword a lot. Like a lot of times you want to switch to your sword in order to like kill enemies faster. And honestly, I don't want to talk a lot about the game. I just want to point out one little thing about the PS4 version is that your sword, you unlock special abilities for it, like a whirlwind strike where you like spin around in a circle, or where you like create a force field to block projectiles or to heal yourself. Like there's a lot of little spells and abilities and stuff. And the way you do them on the PC version is you double tap a direction and then hold the button.
Yeah.
Like double click, double tap left, and then hold your regular strike, and he'll do that. Mm-hmm. But on the PS4 version, what you can do is you can use a touchpad for that.
What?
Yeah, so instead of having to double tap right and then press your attack button, you just do a quick swipe to the left, to the right, and then press your shoot button. Oh. It's so much better because it's quicker and it doesn't move you around like if you double tap, you're gonna move around. It's gonna it's more stuff that your character's doing.
Yeah,
but it just feels really intuitive, and I really liked it.
Sure.
This game kind of reminded me of I guess it's just the gunplay and the swords. It kind of reminded me of Red Steel, but
yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and I'm enjoying it.
It's actually. It's becoming a bit of a cult classic. There's a lot of people out there that really like this game. I know Jagger's one of them, but I see it popping up on message boards a lot saying, dude, Shadow Warrior, this game's actually really cool.
And a sequel was just announced for it, and it's going to have like 4-player co-op, which looks really cool. There was like a 20-minute video released of it. And
Something
looked like a lot of fun.
More Wang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and something else about the game is that
I
don't get the humor. I think I'm having the same issue that Brad had with Chroma Squad, in that I can tell that they're trying to be funny, but I don't know if they're like, I don't know, it's like maybe it might be too meta for me. I'm trying to think of like a movie or something that I can compare to, and I can't think of anything. It's weird. Like they do all these like little quips that are meant to be funny, but they're not funny. But then I think maybe they made them not funny on purpose, and that's what's meant to be funny about them.
Well, Chroma Squad's not like that. Chroma Squad's just like, it's just not quite good.
Yeah, this is just weird. Like it's off. It's like the Big Lebowski or something. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Wait, what?
What's wrong
Easy,
with
buddy.
No, I'm
Easy,
saying like
buddy.
it's a weird kind of humor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
like I don't get it. Maybe I'm just wrong.
Are you
but-
saying you don't
I think
get
it's probably
the Big
just not
Lebowski?
very funny.
No, I don't get the humor in Shadow Warrior. Like I can see it being there. I just don't see it funny. It's hard for me to explain stuff like
I
that.
mean, the
can't-
main dude is named Lo Wang,
Yeah.
and they think that's really funny.
Especially now that they use
They're
the
really proud
Mo
of
Wang,
themselves.
right?
Mo Wang.
Mo Wang.
Mo Wang?
and they, like there's
That's a better
there's
name.
quips about him like collecting comics and the things he says after he kills some demons.
It's
Maybe
Maybe
that's a
like-
holdover from the original.
I mean,
It's kinda
maybe
like
it's
that
just not-
Shadows of the Damned, how they were
Yeah,
like just
yeah,
super
kind of.
heavy-handed with all the dick
but Shadows
jokes
of the Dam had like the style to back it up. It was funny.
Maybe the game was just. Maybe it's not you, Carlos. Maybe
His
the game
gun
just
was
isn't funny.
named Johnson, for fuck's sake. Like that's,
I know, and it was like a giant phallic.
That was they
gun.
made that
that's
joke
so
like
stupid.
every minute.
I know. That's all that game was.
And at that point, I figure
reason
you're
to
doing
get-
it on purpose. Like you're making this bad joke
A reason
over
to
and
get
over
dick
again
jokes.
on purpose.
Hey,
It's like a meta
I love
commentary.
the humor
on
and
jokes
well,
and
okay,
jokes and jokes and jokes
I don't
and
remember a
jokes.
whole lot outside of the Johnson jokes in Shadows of the Day.
Yeah, but
I like when there's a cult, like maybe a bit of a cultural barrier there when it comes to like humor.
that was a big reason why I didn't like get farther than like an hour into that game.
You
I
couldn't.
just- I just
couldn't take all the dick jokes.
No, fucking
Shadows of the Damned?
Damned. I just stopped because I was like, ugh.
I
Party.
like it because that main character is really funny.
it's weird. It's more
Just-
like that game's like a fever dream. It's like a hodgepodge of a lot of weird shit.
You finally finished it?
Yeah.
The final boss was cool, right? Yeah. What are we talking about? Oh, what else have you played, Carlos?
Oh, one more thing. I recently went on a trip to Mexico, And so the only games I could play are games I could play with a touchpad. So all I have is a fucking netbook.
Oh yeah.
So I installed FTL, and see the thing about FTL is that I really enjoy the journey, but I don't like the destination, because every time you play the game, you always end up fighting the mothership.
Yeah.
You know? And it seems like every decision I make throughout my playthrough, I have to take into consideration the fact that I'm going to fight the mothership at
That's
the end.
the
Like, it's
point.
always
It's a
resting on the back
roguelike.
of my head. It's always on the back of my head, like, I'm going to have to fight this mothership at the
There's
end.
no mystery.
No, it's not like that. It's just that I'm forcing myself to make certain choices to fight the mothership rather than, you know,
That you
just
maybe-
taking it as it going.
that you maybe
And I'm
otherwise
sure
wouldn't.
that a good player would be able to defeat it with whatever they have. Like, they would just pick shit because it's cool and then be able to succeed at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm at that level yet where I can, like, I've found an optimal strategy for fighting it, like boarding weapons on the first
Yeah.
stage. And if I don't do that, I can't win. Like, I have to do that every time. But that's just me, you know.
I
Like,
mean, that is the most definitively effective strategy.
yeah. Like, it's hard for me to break out of that strategy. So with that said, I
But have you been playing the
downloaded.
definitive edition? You have
No,
more
no.
options.
I downloaded the this mod called Captain's Edition, which adds a whole bunch of new shit.
Huh.
Like, it doesn't add new ships
Like
or
a free
anything.
roam mode or something?
No,
That's what I want.
you can download mods for like an endless run, and you can also download mods that balance the weapons for an endless run. So you have to get those two together. But like, I downloaded a whole bunch of them. Like this mod that replaces all the backgrounds were like actual NASA photographs of planets, so it looks really cool. And what the Captain's Edition adds, it adds shit like, for example, when you come into an empty sector, like on the previous game you couldn't do anything, you just jump to the next one. But on this one, you get all these blue options. Like, you can talk to your crew and get a little bit more backstory, like learn some more about their lore and shit.
That's
you can,
it? I mean, just
No,
do
no,
anything?
wait. You can, like, if your ship has the augmentations like a factory, like you can have your ship have a factory. You can manufacture ammo or goods to sell at a store later. Or you can have even cooler stuff, like, say you have a Mantis crew member and you're like in Mantis space. You come upon an empty sector and you can talk to your Mantis crewmate and he'll be like, oh, you know, my cousin, he lives here. You want me to go talk? You want me to go ask him to join our crew? And he's like, yeah. And he joins your crew. And then later on, they both try to like sabotage you, so you get an invaders event. And after you fight off the invader, you can fire your Mantis crew member that betrayed you and shit.
Why would you
Fire.
do that then?
What do you
that-
mean? What do you mean fire him? Like
Like, you just kick him off the ship.
send
You
him
fire-
out of,
you fire
like,
them
out
out-
of an airlock?
You fire them out of the torpedo
Yeah.
How do you fire?
It
somebody
also
with a
adds
space?
like with the stuff you can manufacture, like you can come across sectors that are plagued by this disease. And if you came across some vaccines earlier on your playthrough, or if you have the equipment to manufacture them on an empty sector, you can sell them on that jump for a whole bunch of cash. And there was one other thing.
I like that you have there's an end goal in FTL because it dictates your decision making
Yeah,
in like pretty interesting ways. Like,
I just wish it
is it
buried a
worth
lot.
risking, doing this to try to maybe get an extra member, or am I cool as is?
And you know how in a lot of fights in vanilla FTL, sometimes you're like, okay, this is not a fight that's worth fighting. I'm just gonna power up my engines and get the fuck out of here really quickly. With this mod, you have the option to surrender, so you just skip the whole fight, you lose a couple parts and some fuel, and you don't have to even take any damage. You can also attack ships that have surrendered. Like, after they surrender and give you stuff, you can keep on attacking them. But if your crew members don't agree with that, they can leave. They'll be like, hey man, I'm not cool with you like attacking people that have surrendered, and they'll leave unless you have like
do they go?
unless you have like an augment, like the rock ship has this from the beginning. Like they'll be like, okay, I'm leaving because I don't like you attacking innocent people. But then you have the rock ship option of telling them like, no, because we're rock people and you knew what you were in for, so they have to stay. The one thing I didn't like about, and this is where I could see that the weapons in the original game are really well balanced. This new one adds a whole shit ton of new weapons, and it feels kind of fucked. Like, because there's a lot of factors that you have to consider. Like, they all have cool wind up times, damage, hull damage, shield damage, like crew damage, special abilities like stun. And I don't think the guys that made this mod balanced them out as well as the guys that made the original game. You know? Which is why I eventually just went back and started unlocking achievements in vanilla. But I think there's
Do
a
you
mod
play
that
on
just...
easy or or normal?
Hard normal. The mod sets its balance for normal.
No, I mean like when you normally play FTL. Because I remember you posted like you played 100 times and you weren't really successful four times.
Yeah. I played a bunch on easy, but then I switched to normal after a while.
Easy's easy though.
Yeah, it's only 20%
Hence
more
the name.
parts.
I mean, it's not easy, but it is.
It's still pretty hard.
I beat the game on my second try.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And my third.
I've only beaten it 4 times out of 100 games.
Jesus. Yeah. I don't think I've ever.
This sounds like a game for me. I'm just kidding.
No, but it's good.
Yeah, Nick.
It's
This is the mountain that you need to climb.
And I'm surprised at the amounts of mods that there is and the way you can run some with each other. Like what I'm gonna do next is get all the Captain's Edition content, but then install another mod that brings back regular weapons because I can't deal with this extra bullshit. It's too crazy. Too crazy.
Too much.
Speaking of too crazy,
Too much.
was there anything else you were playing?
No.
No?
I thought there was something else that I wanted to hear about more than FTL.
Was it Rocket League?
Oh.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe it was Rocket League. Okay, never mind.
All right. So news happened.
Things happen.
Things happened in the news. Brad, do you want to start us off, or?
I don't know. What was my next topic?
What?
I'm just messing with you. No, let's do that one last.
Okay. All right. I'll start with one. This is something that happened. I think it happened in the last week, and this is all adding on to rumor and speculation, I think. But the Japanese voice actor for Solid Snake has since come out and quote unquote confirmed. I don't know if this is officially confirmed yet or not, but confirmed that Kojima Productions has officially disbanded. Which, I think, given the circumstances and how crazy, just today it was shown that they have officially removed Kojima's name from the box art.
From the final box art.
From the final box art, which is infuriating.
What does that even mean?
It's-
How did this happen?
Even if you're pissed at someone, removing their name from a box does not mean they were not involved. That it wasn't.
That was
that
the
it's not
only
his art.
internal talent they had left at Konami.
Well, they clearly don't give a shit about their video games anymore. I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? But anyway, I mean, this is coming from a voice actor. I don't know if this has been. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because
a voice actor who was the Solid Snake voice actor.
I mean, it's probably true. I can't even. It's the only thing that makes sense because I can't imagine people at that studio are going to be like gung ho to start working on another project as soon as this is over because this sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So this sounds like this is truly the end of Kojima Productions and probably Metal Gear Solid as we know it.
As we know it.
Yeah.
The truth is, though, it's all the other stuff that maybe Koji Pro had their hand in that's probably definitively gone. I could see Konami trying to drag out Metal Gear, but I was looking at all the that leaked Zone of the Enders stuff from Project
Oh,
Ender.
we'll
or
never get
whatever.
into the Zone of the Enders, huh?
That stuff looks so cool. It looks so cool. I mean, the thing is, they did really cool stuff. Even Boktai and Lunar Nights, whenever they did something that wasn't Metal Gear, it was cool shit.
The thing is, Zone of the Enders as a franchise is really cool, and I think it had a lot of potential. But that concept is not something that I think is Hideo Kojima could go out, break off, start his own studio, and make a spiritual successor to Zone of the Enders, and no one would really care that it's not called Zone of the Enders.
Yeah.
That's a thing. It's not Silent. It's not Silent Hills. It's not like
He could make.
he goes
another
off and
mech
makes
game,
well,
a horror game, and it's like this could have been Silent Hill.
maybe he should make something that's kind of like Metal Gear. Think about
Really? I mean, is that really? I mean,
if he wants to be successful, think about David Jaffe. He's constantly chasing this twisted metal.
you were the last person I thought would say that, Brad.
What?
I don't know, encouraging Hideo Kojima, who is by all for all intents and purposes,
I'm not talking about what I really want myself. I'm talking about what he should do to maybe actually be successful. For example, Koji Igarashi, if he was making something that wasn't Symphony of the Night, it wouldn't have been this huge fucking success. You know what I mean? The fucking Inafune has to make Mega Man because no one wants him to make anything else.
The difference is Igarashi broke off and was going to make he went into that with the intention of revitalizing a genre that was dead. Right? Or
well, no,
on the verge of
because
death.
the indie space,
He wanted to make that. Kojima has been trying to get away from Metal Gear for years. The last thing he wants to do, I think, is probably go. I mean, I'm putting words in his mouth.
think about David Jaffe. if he were to start a new studio to make the spiritual follow up to something like God of War, a series that got really fucking stale, people would probably be way more excited than him making another arena based game that's kind of like Twisted Metal,
Yeah, no, you're right.
Even though that's where his passion lies.
Shinji Mikami is another example. He broke off and made a spiritual successor to Resident Evil, but like
Metal Gear, there wouldn't be a market for a Zone of the Enders like spiritual successor.
The thing is, Metal Gear is so.
I don't think so.
Metal Gear is so unique. I don't think it conforms to the same rules.
You can make a stealth game.
Yeah, I guess, but it's not the same thing as like the creator of Resident Evil going to make a survival horror game. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
That like Metal Gear is so completely Metal Gear.
Carlos, is that on airplane mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
That it would be too much of like a rip-off kind of carbon copy.
Yeah.
Like he'd be ripping off himself essentially.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's been done plenty of times before.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just one of the like he is a developer that I have never seen really do anything. What are you doing, Carlos?
How do you take a selfie with one fucking hand? It's fucking hard.
Is that my phone?
Fucking giant ass phone. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I like how Crispy didn't even realize it was his phone. Anyways,
Did you see
No wonder
what's his face on
people
Twitter
make
talking
selfie
mad
sticks.
shit about Inafune?
Oh.
yeah.
He's like, I respect him
Kamiya?
as a businessman. Yeah, Kamiya, he was like Mighty Number 9's just a fucking copy of
someone
Mega
asked
Man,
him if
and
he's like,
how it's disrespect. I mean, how it's just kind of sad. I mean, it was just funny.
yeah. I mean, someone had apparently asked Kamiya like if he was not impressed by Mighty Number 9 because it was what was the wording? Because it was too similar to Mega Man, whatever. And he was like, too similar. It's a copy. Like just straight up, just keep it real, just totally. Yeah, that was crazy.
What else is in the news?
Crispy?
Well, in keeping with our discussion with Comic-Con earlier, during a panel of Marvel games, one of the Marvel games producers was asked if there were any plans for like full-on like full console Marvel games in the near future, because they'd showed off things like Marvel Puzzle Quest and like some of these other like little mobile
What
games
was the last Marvel standalone
that
game?
nobody really cares about.
That
I mean, if you're counting
Marvel MOBA on Steam.
if you're counting like retail Marvel standalone games,
Captain
it would be
America.
it'd be Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
What was the last quality Marvel game we got? Like,
Captain America.
has Marvel
Apparently,
has Marvel had their Batman Arkham Asylum yet?
No. They had Spider-Man 2.
all the
in
license
the day.
game come out for
Ultimate
mobile
Alliance.
devices these days.
Ultimate Alliance is cool, but it's
No, it's not that cool.
But the
X-Men Legends.
But the news is there gonna be some announced next year.
so well. I mean, that's what they said. It sounds a little dodgy to me, but Marvel is focusing on trying to figure out how to put their characters into like quality console games. Which
how about
I mean,
you give them to a
dude,
developer
a
and
lot
not
of-
tie it to a movie?
yeah, a lot of Marvel games, even the ones that aren't like direct movie tie-ins. Like I'm thinking a lot of the Spider-Man games that have come out, like
Web of
good.
Shadows.
The most interesting
No.
Web and Shadows and Shattered Dimensions.
Shattered Dimensions was at least like it was
It
unique.
was a cool concept.
I have an
yeah.
idea.
Two separate games?
Yeah.
Wow, there's been a lot of
Web of
Spider games
Shadows.
out.
Web of Shadows was
Yeah.
the one about like the Venom virus that was attacking New York.
Remember
City.
the one with like
that was
Spider-Man
the one-
Noir?
That was the really fucking weird one, because that was the one where like huge parts of the development were voted on by fans, and they were just like, okay, so who's gonna be Spider-Man's team-up character in this game? And like people voted in Wolverine, and they're like, who's gonna be the big villain of this game? And
Wolverine.
people voted in Wolverine, and people voted in Venom and shit like that. Like it was really like that
Gambit.
was a weird
I would call that a failed
development
experience.
process.
I started playing
I
that.
saw that tweet from Crispy about people on the internet love Deadpool. Why are you so hateful?
I'm not hateful. The internet does love Deadpool.
I thought you loved Deadpool.
I like Deadpool.
Oh.
Okay.
What's wrong? What? What?
I like
Do
Deadpool
you
and
like
X-Men
Gambit?
Legends too.
No, I don't like Gambit. I don't like Gambit, and I don't like
Deadpool
Wolverine.
and X-Men Legends 2, he can teleport. He's got regenerating health.
Yeah.
He, I don't know. Got that
I never said I don't like Deadpool. In fact, when I was on my vacation, I read Deadpool's Art of War, which was Very good.
Wasn't
You
that
guys should
Sun
check that
Tzu
out.
Sort of War?
Speaking of
It's about
comic,
him rewriting.
speaking of comic book movies made by like good comic book games. I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be cool if and this is also related to the news, if the creators of Prototype made a Hulk game? Cool. Do those guys still exist? Does Radical still exist?
Hey, Prototype was cool, dog.
Yeah,
Prototype yesterday.
Prototype 1
Yesterday. No, today.
Oh, today.
Prototype 1 and 2 HD came out. Combo.
Why is Prototype 2 still like $50?
It's not. You can now get for your PS4 Prototype 1 and 2 HD today for $50.
I'm gonna go in and say it. Prototype more fun than Infamous.
What?
Oh my god! People will forever compare those two because they came out the same week.
Don't make statements like
It's
that.
so sad. It's so fucking sad.
Prototype, you can do shit like the fucking
Don't perpetuate the
possess an old lady and shit.
Don't perpetuate that. You
What
turd.
the fuck? Isn't that not? Is that not fucking hilarious?
Fucking
that
kickflip
that
tank.
Activision released a game without announcing it at all.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because the people buying these HD collections, they're not people like me and you. They're the people that trade in all their games in their old console to get the new console.
And now they're doing the same thing with their games.
And they're like, "Oh, Prototype! I remember playing that. Let's get this." It's Activision didn't need to promote that. They're just like, "Fuck it, here you go."
I mean, but do they just assume that people are gonna walk into a store and buy it?
yeah, no, that happens.
Here's my question:
Should I
that
get
thing was so-
the DMC remastered?
I did, but that's just because I like DMC.
The game's sweet, dog.
Dude,
But,
Dante must
But
die
you've played
mode.
it.
Or
Hey,
Dante must style.
I want to get back to the subject at hand, which is the Marvel games
Yes.
announcements.
So
Here's my
essentially,
question.
They're I don't know if I said this, but they're saying that announcements will be made next year about full retail Marvel.
My
console
first
games.
instinct was to get a kind of like, ooh, that sounds cool, and then I was like, and then I stopped to think about it, and I was like, why?
Do you think this is to compete against the quality of the Batman games, because those do really well?
The
I
only
think
way
that, I think that was a contributing factor.
The problem is they like the only way to effectively compete against Batman at this point is to actually find a competent
make
developer.
A Moon Knight game.
What developer do you think they could pull into it to make a game for them?
I mean, fucking Rocksteady came out of nowhere, so it's kind of a shot in the dark. But it's gonna be someone who doesn't make like it's not gonna be a
probably gonna
developer
be
that makes like
British.
AAA titles. They're just gonna try to pull someone up.
Oh, maybe
Like High
call
Moon
up-
Studios with Transformers.
Yeah, like High Moon Studios.
They're gonna
There's a
call
good
up,
example.
They're gonna call up Hello Games, have them do like a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, fucking
game.
Raven made a pretty cool Wolverine game.
Raven
back in
makes
the day.
good. I think Raven makes good
is-
games.
I mean, they've been around forever.
And all
making
they do
good
now
games.
is Call of Duty.
I know. Activision killed all their studios.
Fucking
If
fire up.
they would take Raven off of Call of Duty and have them
Make Singularity too. Right.
Did they do Wolfenstein as well?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I'll take Singularity
Did
too.
Raven do 2009 Wolfenstein?
They did Wolfen.
Raven's
they did
done
Wolfenstein.
tons of Marvel games.
They did Wolfenstein. They did Singularity. They did.
Raven, they're the ones who did X-Men Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
They can make
Well, I mean, what?
superhero games.
So like,
Before.
Marvel is probably gonna try to.
They
do,
also did that Wolverine game.
That's what I just fucking said.
What, the
Oh, sorry.
Origins one?
Yeah.
Which, yeah. The one that Mark Hamill played
People like
Wolverine
that. There's a cult.
That's a good game.
Mark Hamill played Wolverine.
in that game. Yes, he did.
What?
Troy Baker played Mark
Yes,
Hamill.
he
Played
did.
Wolverine.
All right, what were you saying, Crispy? Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, if they are trying to go after that, like, that market kind of created by Batman Arkham, which, I mean, I think most of the successful superhero games nowadays are like these open world kind of things. So you think like Infamous
Yeah.
was pretty successful,
Yeah.
Prototype was successful, Batman Arkham was successful, and they're all open world games. So what is Marvel gonna do
But
in
every
the
time,
open world sphere besides Spider-Man?
Hulk Ultimate Destruction, the guys that made Prototype. Do another Hulk game. That game was fucking cool.
do a Daredevil open world game. That'd be rad.
You're blind.
They're already making one. It's called
Exactly.
Perception or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, perception.
Fucking
Yeah.
But
Bioshock.
render the entire open world in like
No
Black
textures.
and white.
in
Save
like
a lot of money.
however you would interpret.
60 FPS, baby.
So like after you level up a bunch, you can like level up his like ambient hearing, and then eventually textures come into the game. Like,
It'd be like the Unfinished Swan.
yeah.
Sure.
Duh.
Fantastic Four game.
No, stop it. There's not going to be
Fantastic Four game made by the guys that made Lord of the Rings: War in the North.
The thing is, all your licensed stuff are either Lego games or mobile phone games. And you know what? For the past half decade, it's been like that, and that's been cool. Why fuck with the formula? You know what I mean? We don't want to play some fucking mediocre ass Avengers game. Really?
Wait,
A cool Avengers game.
Marvel needs to
would
fuck
be
with their
great.
formula.
Yeah.
They haven't had a good.
They make so much money off of phone games, though.
Yeah, but
You know how much money Marvel Puzzle Quest has made them?
So
You know what? Fuck
I don't,
Marvel.
I think the
Puzzle
point
I
of
don't
this-
want to know how much.
I think the point of this conversation is that we've now realized that whatever is announced next year is not going to be good.
Or Marvel Heroes actually does really
They
well,
should
too.
I hope I'm
Definitely-
wrong.
They
That's
should
the
just,
MOBA, right? No, it's like an action RPG.
It's Diablo.
They-
like I've heard a lot of really good things about that.
Of which one?
Marvel Heroes.
It's a free to play, right?
The free to play
yeah.
on
Free to play on
PC.
Steam.
I would like to point out
Download
that I'm wearing this bling chain that Carlos brought me, and so is Brad, but no one can see Brad's because
Yeah,
it's
mine's
blending
behind
in.
the mic.
It's blending in with his shirt. So everyone's like, "Why does Nick look like a gangsta?" It's like, well, why just me?
Mine's
Nick.
behind the mic.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The chain, it's like Dumbo's feather. The gangsta was inside you all along.
Oh, thank you, Carlos. I think.
Yeah, so speaking of clowns, well, when I think of Dumbo, I think of clowns because they terrify me. That movie's horrifying.
Dumbo is horrifying.
So bad. Like if you played Batman,
Yeah.
I did. I played the
if
shit
you
out of
played
that.
Batman, you have no idea what Batman is. You've never heard of Batman.
Right.
You've never heard of the Joker.
Those people
You're
exist.
just dropping into...
And if you have like a phobia of clowns, like I do, that's a horror game.
yeah.
That is a fucking horror. It is
Dude,
scary.
especially
he is
towards-
scary as shit.
Especially
he pops
towards
up out
the
of
end.
nowhere. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
The only reason we're comfortable with it is because we know Batman. We know the Joker.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean?
Love Joker.
It's horrifying.
Yeah,
But
dude.
isn't Arkham Asylum like kind of get a horror vibe to it? I mean,
It's...
Again, if you're familiar with the Batman universe, none of that stuff is scary.
I don't think Batman ever has a horror vibe to it because you're Batman. Like, what are you afraid of?
Clowns that come out of nowhere that you can't do anything about.
fucking murderous ass
He-
clowns, yeah.
You might be afraid of that, but Batman didn't give a fuck.
Scary, murderous
He's just
clowns.
ignoring it. Like you
scary to
can't
me.
like building a horror game where you like off the basis that you're playing Batman is dumb because you like because you're fucking Batman. Like
Psychological
no one
horror.
is gonna like.
I mean, it's straight up.
It's like what if
psychological
Five
horror.
Nights at Freddy's like you were playing Batman in Five Nights at Freddy's? That game wouldn't be scary.
Hey, the Batman Arkham games are maybe not scary, but they are dark.
Yeah.
They're,
And if you
they're
don't know-
dark. Yeah.
I can see people thinking Asylum had some horror elements to it. I mean, just from the setting
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Or this new one.
And there is that like
There are jump
those
scares
sections
in
where you
Arkham
get like
Knight.
kind
Have
of
you played Spooky's House of Jump Scares?
Yes, it's bad.
Dude, I got to like room 200.
It's so.
Oh my god! All right, so Brad, it's the
Yes.
floor is yours now.
So we heard some very sad news a
Terrible
couple of
news.
days ago. The president and CEO of Nintendo passed away at the age of 55, and it was kind of a shock because
Satoru
Well-
Iwata.
Satoru Iwata. Now, we knew he had health problems over the past couple of years. They cited that as the reasons why he wasn't going to E3, and we do know that we do know that he had like a growth in his bile duct that got removed. So we knew he likely had cancer, but it was still a shock because I mean I don't know because like when Steve Jobs died, he had retired before, right? You know, he was the acting president of Nintendo. It just came out of nowhere, and it was kind of a shock. But
It came out.
he was 55.
It came out of nowhere
very
in that like It didn't necessarily come out of nowhere because we knew he was sick, but it came out of nowhere in that it happened on a Sunday afternoon, and there was literally the comment from Nintendo was like a sentence long, and it was just like
Yeah, the
we
pre-release on
regret to
Twitter.
inform you that, or regret to announce that Satoru Iwata has passed away, and it was just like what?
It's really
What?
sad too because like his public image. I mean, he was still doing directs here and there, but it was just the kind of thing where they probably filmed that stuff on good days. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the direction that Nintendo's been taking over the past few years, like no live press conferences and stuff, had something to do with his health. They have Nintendo posted a updated picture, which was like the most recent picture that was taken of him, where he's like a photo shoot picture, and he was like very, very like skinny, and because he had lost a ton of weight, and it's just it's sad. It's just fucking sad.
I'm not sure. There could be some a grain of truth there to the whole live press conference thing, but by and large, when Nintendo's doing their press conferences, especially at E3, a lot of times it's Reggie being the spokesperson. So, and that's been that way for years.
Well, I mean, he's always there. He's always there.
Yeah, but he's kind of
he opens it. He introduces new hardware. I mean, he's always been there. But I
don't know. It's really sad.
It's not a lot. There's not a lot to say. I mean, there's a lot of like outpouring, like all kinds of great pieces written about him, and like fan art made, and if you want to go be sad, there's plenty of stuff out there to make you sad. But just play some Nintendo games like I've been doing lately, because that's what you do.
Play some Mario World, dude. You suck.
I played some Mario World yesterday. Mario World's a great fucking game.
Yeah,
it's
but
easy
you're
to
bad
forget.
at it.
It's easy to forget. Shut the fuck up, Carlos. I beat 4 Star Road levels.
Like my
yesterday.
fucking brain was hurting just from watching you play.
I haven't played a side-scrolling platformer in quite a while.
Is it your reflexes aren't what they used to be?
So
Is
as
anybody
far
here
as the
gonna
future of Nintendo, they made some statements about kind of the message going forward, being like, "Oh, we're gonna carry on his legacy." I don't know what that means as far as
Well, of course they're going to continue on his legacy.
Well, I mean, he was president and CEO. I mean, does that mean that they're going to kind of continue whatever his business plans? I'm sure they had planned for years. Since
I'm pretty sure most people working at Nintendo in the higher up positions knew Iwata well enough to be a good judge of what actions he would and would not approve of.
Yeah, but the thing is, right now, I believe there's like 2 acting people in charge, and one of them is Miyamoto. How weird would it be if
Miyamoto became the president of Nintendo?
Yeah, because he's creative. He's he's like creative talent. He's there to kind of assist all the different teams and give them ideas and stuff, and to become just kind of a pure executive could be a real bummer for somebody like him.
But actually,
think about Inafune when he became an executive at Capcom. He really did kind of lost a lot of his creative spark. And I think it's one of the reasons he left.
The other person that was, you said there's 2 people.
Yeah.
The other person aside from Miyamoto, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. He's always been there. He's always been around. He is the one person whose name is not nearly as recognizable as Iwata or Miyamoto, but he is probably a what I would imagine is probably a better fit for being upper management as far as
maybe you don't really know. The thing is, but think about the Nintendo's public image over the past few years. Iwata became a character. He was the one leading these Nintendo Directs. He became a fucking character. They like to put those people out there, just like Reggie. Before he became president of Nintendo America, he became this character, and I think that's one of the reasons maybe he ultimately got that position. So think about that. They might not want a faceless executive to be quote unquote running Nintendo.
The other person
of
is
America.
actually there was an article posted today. I can't remember where, honestly. But the other person they were talking about him was one of the first game developers that Nintendo ever hired. That ever worked on a project for Nintendo. One of the very first ones. He has a game development background, so he's got
so did Iwata.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, Iwata started out as a programmer. I mean, he programmed Balloon Fight. He was there. He worked at HAL Laboratories. They made Kirby games. He worked on Earthbound and stuff. That it wouldn't be completely out of the. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Miyamoto's not a good businessman. Who knows? But I think going forward, whoever they end up choosing, I think you're probably going to see a lot more. Maybe Miyamoto on stuff like Nintendo Directs.
Gunpei Yoko is dead too.
Well, he passed away a long time ago. He was the creator of the Game Boy.
Metroid.
But I don't know. It's sad news.
Very sad. I was very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Moment of silence.
moment of silence. In fact, we could have done the silence here.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. There we go.
What else we got?
Well, Thanks. That was Carlos's belt. All right. Okay. So, as you may have noticed, Nolan's not here this week. He has been moving. He's been packing up and moving. So he'll probably be back next week. And despite his word, he said that he was going to put together community segment this week. He did not.
What a jerk.
He's been busy, though. He's a very, very busy man right now. He's packing. He's moving to a different city.
He's much more important than I am.
Yeah. Go get on PSN right now. He's playing Rocket League.
He's crossing through zip codes, people. He's a busy man. But I do have the questions from Patreon this week. We have some supporter questions. If you are a patron, you can leave a question for us to answer in the podcast. I post these every Sunday on the Patreon activity feed. What are you doing?
Anointed with the dollar.
Oh my God, that didn't work. Okay.
That was his mouth.
So, our first question this week, this is a quick one, comes from Landon. He wants to know, he was wondering where we personally get our video game news from. He says he uses IGN.
What?
I'm like,
Dude, NeoGaf and Wario64 on Twitter.
there is actually,
Yeah.
so Brad turned me onto this a few years ago, and NeoGaf, there's a Twitter feed that you can
Fucking
follow on
Julian
NeoGaf.
Assange of
Where
video
basically
games.
anytime new threads are formed, it tweets out the
The one I used to follow stopped working, so if you haven't seen any...
I noticed that. Is there a new one?
So follow the one that I'm retweeting all the time.
All right, so I would check that out. That's a great source. Obviously, I have an RSS feed on my phone. I have all the obvious ones on there. I do have IGN on there. I have Polygon. I have Destructoid. All that.
I
stuff.
use Reddit, not gaming, but games.
Yeah.
Gaming is just stupid. Games is like actual discussion.
I think the best source though is
Alright.
probably NeoGaf. That's a great source.
Just because...
That's the best collection. People are kind of curating that pretty well.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. Any other answers out there?
No, I mean I'm more like you.
I follow
You
Brad
can always follow us
on
on Twitter and
Yeah.
Brad tweets a
follow
lot
me on
about video
Twitter.
games.
Dude, I got the hot scoop on like most everything.
At Folder Brad, that guy, he tweets a lot about games.
Yeah, he
I
does.
think we all tweet a lot about games. All right.
He's a bit acerbic.
Our next question is from Michael. Is that really how he spells his name? MYCH?
Probably
Michael?
Russian.
Like Mikhail.
Michal.
Mikhail.
He
Chris
said,
Thacker from Kincaid, West Virginia.
I can't believe that stuck around for so long. He asks, what are some of the best and worst moments you guys have had playing a Resident Evil game? Any of them? Man, I didn't see the Resident Evil part.
Say again? The best...
The best and or worst parts of a Resident Evil game.
the worst part was Resident Evil 6. That
In
part
its entirety. that part of the series.
The whole affair.
Yeah. I mean, I played one campaign from 6, and I wish I hadn't. But obviously, and you've heard me bitch about this plenty of times, but the punching of the boulder and the crashing into the volcano has always stood out to me.
What was that dude's name that you were playing with?
What? David?
Somebody was
David?
playing with someone and he just sucked at.
No, I
punching
was
the boulder.
playing with the Chatter Mortarford.
Yeah.
He was really bad at QuickTime events.
And someone made fun about him not passing the interrogation in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah. That would have been...
Motherfucker.
That part was
bad.
tough.
I'm bad at rapidly tapping stuff too, but
You are!
He made me look really good.
I remember when we played Bastion and one of the challenges, and you were like amazed at how well I did on that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of games. Like I wouldn't have been. I swear to God, I would not have been able to beat Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker because there is an interrogation sequence in that you have to succeed at, and I couldn't do it. So Malia had to do it.
That's when you bust out a penny, dude, and you just go like this. Then you're scratching.
What it is when I start rapidly tapping a button, I start thinking about it, and it starts freaking me out, and I can't go fast.
Oh, you get locked up. You get like a feedback in your mind, so like your thumb is like it's off sync.
It's like Asperger's for. I'm sorry.
That
face is perfect. God damn it, Brad.
I'm just not going to finish that statement.
That face is no less offensive.
What was the question?
Best or worst parts from a Resident Evil game? Resident Evil.
The best part, man.
Parts.
The best part
Fucking
is when
Crimson
the chainsaw dude sawed through a door, and I realized that this game was something special.
Dude, all of Resident Evil 4.
It
when
is.
you fucking reload the rifle, it's like, oh,
Also, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Also, Resident Evil 4 stands out to me on the lake. That was a really cool moment. It was all quiet and
that
creepy.
Game.
all of Resident Evil. Like, anytime someone
first
talks
time
about
you-
Resident Evil 4, I have to go play it. I'm gonna go play it again.
The first into the village is one of the most memorable fucking moments.
No, you know what the best moment for me was? Resident Evil 4 back in the day playing on GameCube, beating one of the giants with a knife.
Do you remember
You did that?
Yeah.
when you first played Resident Evil? And
You
it
mean
was
the Los Gigantos?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you first played
Just stab
Resident
him on the
Evil 4?
ankles a whole bunch.
Do you remember when you first played Resident Evil 4 and it was the best thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
That was the last time that happened to me on a Nintendo system. And that's really
You know what I remember about Resident Evil 4?
Because it happened with Metroid Prime.
Yeah, Metroid Prime was like.
You know what you know what I
crazy when it came out.
specifically remember about Resident Evil 4? Mike selling it to me.
I remember.
I bought it from
playing-
Mike. He was working
Was
at
he
the
like-
GameStop that I then went to work for afterwards. He sold me my copy of Resident Evil 4.
That's funny.
I'm gonna go fucking play Resident Evil 4 now.
I remember playing
It's one of the
Resident
greats.
Evil Remake, and I found a key, and then I found the door that it opened.
What was the
was like,
last
yes.
game you played that really, and excuse my language, really blew you away? really just like you played it and like all encompassing. You're like when you're playing the game, you're not even finished with it. You're like, this is one of the best games ever made. This is easily gonna make my top 10 of all time. When's the last time you played a game that gave you that feeling?
Last of Us. First round of factions.
Oh my god! I mean,
Oh
some
my
people would
God.
say Last of Us.
I mean, that's probably
Sure, but
no.
When I finally got into Dark Souls 1.
Do you want to know the answer?
Like probably like around like 12, 14 hours into Dark Souls 1.
I can
was
tell you
like,
my answer, and you may give me shit for this, but Alien Isolation. I played that game and I was like, "Holy fucking shit! This game is amazing."
Dude,
It's alright.
Game
I mean,
blew
for me, it was
me away.
It was like, I think the last one was like Portal or something. I mean, I'm saying this doesn't happen to me very often. I remember about halfway through Bayonetta, I thought like I was playing something incredible. But by the time I finished that game, like that game's the last like few chapters of that game were kind of a bummer. It kind of brought me down a little bit. But that game, just the way it controlled and felt and played, I was like, man,
You know what? Actually, more recently than that would have been
the Wonderful 101,
fucking
right?
101.
I still got
That's a game that wraps up
That was-
incredibly
dude,
well.
I think when by the time I got to like the flashback mission
Yeah.
with like the original Wonder
Yeah.
Red, I was just like, holy fuck, this game is crazy.
You talk about
Like,
game endings. I think Wonderful 101
Yeah.
has one of
Also,
the greatest endings.
You guys need to keep it to Resident Evil.
Okay.
Also,
Resident Evil.
Red Dead
Uh,
Redemption is also another game that
Yeah,
I
that
played
was a
and I
good
was
one.
like, "This is gonna end up in my top 10 for
In
sure."
short, Resident Evil 6 sucks.
You know that part in Red Dead Redemption when everyone talks about
keep it to Resident Evil.
when you go to Mexico for the first time and the music kicks in and everyone's like, "Oh my
I-
god,
I'll be-
I fell off a cliff." I listened to like 2 seconds of that song and I fell off a cliff.
I listen to the soundtrack for Red Dead Redemption probably at least
Moment ruined for
once a
me.
day.
I'm trying to think of a bad Resident Evil moment.
There's so many
Resident Evil
later
I
in the
remember
series,
Resident Evil
for sure.
6, the final boss of the Leon mode.
Yeah, it's a backflipping T-Rex.
No. After that, when you're like shooting rockets at the thing that's slowly walking towards you.
I can't remember anything past the backflipping dinosaur.
Operation Raccoon City, all of it. Yeah.
You know what it was? It was the first time I played the demo of Resident Evil 6, and I realized that they fucked it. Fucked it.
But on the good side of things, Resident Evil related, I think the first moment I encountered a Crimson Head in Resident Evil, like naturally, like in the I can't remember. Do they introduce Crimson Heads in a cutscene, or does it just happen?
I think it just happens.
Because that moment was fucking scared the shit out of me.
That's only on remake though.
Yeah, and well, remake is still hands down one of my favorites in the franchise for sure. Resident Evil 2, I think, just in general had a great tone to it. I don't
can't-
think a lot of really memorable moments came out of that game, but I think it nailed the atmosphere.
I mean, like the first time you were grabbed running down that hall was like crazy.
The first time you encounter a liquor that
Yeah.
That was cool.
I can't think of any like really bad moments that would just make me pissed off. Like, I mean, there've been some bad moments, but not as bad as some other ones that I've had.
Play 6 and get back to us. Okay.
What about the Krauser fight? 4. The quick time event fight.
That kind of sucks. Okay. Next question comes from Sean. He says, with the sad passing of Satoru Iwata, we are reminded that the people in the industry who gave us years of fun and enjoyment can be taken from us very early. Has the passing of a game developer or industry figurehead ever affected you? And honestly, I'm having trouble thinking and remembering developers or
The Iwata
figureheads.
stuff was terribly sad.
Yeah, I just can't remember the last time it happened before that. I know it has.
I
but-
remember when Gunpei Yoko died, I think.
Really? You remember that? That was a long time ago.
Yeah, like I remember hearing about it.
You know, they made, there was a PSP game.
I'm being like, oh, you
called
know,
Gunpei.
that dude
Oh,
died.
Ryan Davis. That affected me.
Oh, but that doesn't count.
Well,
That's
I mean-
not what I said. Yeah, the Ryan Davis thing. You're right. Though.
Well, I mean, it's video game related. He may not be a figurehead in the industry itself, but he is definitely tied to the industry in a very significant way. I thought, you know, that hit me hard.
When did Gunpei Yoko die? Like 92?
I don't remember.
92.
No, later than that.
92.
It's later than that.
Because I remember it was a car accident or something.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Dave, the zombie. What are some favorite little details that you have appreciated about any game you've played? Example, Brad mentioned he enjoyed the little thug conversations in Arkham Knight. And by the way, I want to start this off by saying one of the coolest things about Arkham Knight, little detail-wise, building off of what you said, is the thug conversations change dramatically when you've beaten the game.
Yeah.
And it's like I went so long in that game hearing, and I was always hearing new stuff, and then I beat the game, and then it's just like instead of recycling the same stuff, they change like all of their dialogue afterwards, and they start talking about a very specific event that happened at the end of the game, and it's just like
That's just funny.
No, I
They
just
have
like
some funny
I just like
writers.
at the end of the game, like the militia guys. Like every once in a while, there'll be a militia guy that's just like, "Hey guys, we're not getting paid for tonight, are we?" Like,
yeah.
like,
They got some. That game has a lot of little details.
those
It's
are
really
cool
great.
cool little things.
Well, can we move on to the next question?
You don't
I think
have
we're done
anything?
talking about Resident Evil, right?
No, I've asked
That was
another
like
question.
2 questions ago.
Brad, that was literally 2 questions ago.
Sorry.
Maybe
what was the question?
maybe when you shine your flashlight on Alex's face.
Brad is the worst person.
What was
Walks with
this
her
last
hand.
question?
What are some favorite little details that you've appreciated about any game that you've played? Chai Tai brings up Sherry holding Claire's hand in Resident Evil 2, which is cool. I did notice that. He brought that up during our mini Project M moment. That was cool.
There's billions of little details in the Metal Gear series that I absolutely adore.
I always liked in Assassin's Creed how you could just walk around and just like flip around your fucking like.
Could you do that in all of them?
They took it out eventually.
Yeah.
Because it got like super contextualized, but like you could always just like walk around and just like fuck around with your hidden blade. I kind of like.
I always liked the Metal Gear Solid 2 moment where you could when you're supposed to be listening to the conversation with the amplifier, and you can turn and point at the bathroom, and you can hear what's his face taking a mad dump. Like that was hilarious. But you could probably talk for hours about all the little details of Metal Gear.
You could see
There's
your
so many.
reflection in Duke Nukem 3D. That was crazy.
You can also
Mind
interact with
blown.
almost everything.
Yeah, little details. I mean, yeah.
Do you know about the roaches in Half-Life having like a really cool artificial intelligence?
No.
Yeah, like there's a whole 10-minute YouTube video on how they behave and move around as a swarm and shit. It's really cool. Like what? Like
roaches?
why would they even do that? Yeah, look it up. It's really cool.
Nice.
The next question comes.
Like they look for a food source, and then when they eat it, you can't see the food source, but when they eat it, they like go hide and then come back when they're hungry. It's crazy.
Jesus.
Next question comes from Captain Passion Man,
Yes.
All right.
which great name, great
Is this
name.
Carlos? I think there's a Carlos question. Captain Passion.
And this is actually kind of an interesting question.
Okay.
With growing advances in technology, games are looking more and more realistic. Imagine a world where graphics are near perfect. What do you think that will happen to M-rated games in particular, such as Grand Theft Auto, for example, where acts of sex, violence, and even torture are present throughout? What happens to gaming when these acts are done to character models that look too real?
I mean, There's already movies where
Yeah.
people do that
And
shit
a lot of
to
people-
real people.
Yeah, but
Like,
you're now in control of it, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of
See, but with games, there's always this like cinematic flair, because a lot of times like brutality in real life, it's not as extravagant as you might see in movies or in games.
well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you really want to approach realism, it's gonna be maybe a little tamer
Well, I mean,
compared to what you have seen. You know?
Sure, but I think the question is more like, how is the industry in general going to handle it when suddenly the acts of violence they're depicting look
I mean,
a little too real? Like, is that still okay?
I mean,
When it suddenly becomes
you gotta do what you think works for your art or your product.
sure. And the thing is, I feel like we've also reached a point, and this is obviously just me having a hard time imagining what the next step is. Like, what is it? How are games going to look so much better than they do now? But it's like I feel like we've reached a point where it's a little bit like maybe diminishing returns as far as
it's like an incremental increase.
yeah.
every
Everything
generation.
from this point forward is like incremental. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting it. Like,
And
It's gonna be something that by the time we get to that point, it will have been such a slow build to get there that like you'll already be used to. It's not like they're gonna come out next generation and that's just gonna be it. They hit the ceiling.
I like what Gigamir said.
There
He
was a
said, like
huge,
anything,
like-
violence can clearly be defined by whether it's done tastefully or not. And I think that's where it's like, you're suddenly, developers are really going to have to ask themselves, are we doing this tastefully?
yeah, you're gonna have
Is
to
this-
like not only that, you also have to justify its purpose.
Dude,
Yeah.
Actually, Gamerbeck has a pretty good point about the VR. Like,
Yeah.
I think that is gonna be more. That is gonna have more of a psychological effect on these sorts of like content in games than necessarily like super good graphics. Because I mean, graphics already look really good. Like I said, like there's already like you can already see that kind of content in live action movies. Something that puts you more immersive and like makes you more in that moment of like violence or sex or whatever, that's gonna have more of an effect. I feel like it's like we were talking about last week with like the horror games that people are working on for these VR headsets, how they're just like fucking with people because it's different when you're in it instead of watching it on a screen.
First time I ever used a Oculus Rift, I played about 3 minutes of Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
3 minutes because they only let me play until I died.
Isn't there a clause?
And that's terrifying.
Isn't there a clause one of the VR manufacturers has where they won't allow certain type of content on their platform? I think it was Suicide or something like that. Because they find it might be too traumatic, like even for an average person.
Fucking, I can't wait.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but I
Yeah,
I'm
I
psyched
do
for some
remember reading
fucked up
that there was certain type of
happening because
content
people going
that
crazy.
the people creating the platform were not going to allow.
That's crazy.
I want to see something so terrifying. Well, see, I don't even need VR
See-
to scare the shit out of me. So
I mean, it's like eating a habanero, you know? Fuck it, you just fucking eat it.
Brad just said he's excited for some real fucked up shit. I just hope people heard that.
And see, I want to say something. People always say tasteful violence. I don't think violence can be tasteful. It can just be, appropriate for its content. For its content.
tasteful is just not the word. To
Yeah,
use.
tasteful is not the right word to use for that.
I think the tasteful is not the word to use. I think is this gratuitous or not?
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to hear I want to read the first article of like the dude who like
VR Hitler.
no.
What the fuck?
Did you see?
I'm gonna stop you. I'm
wanna
gonna
see
stop you right there before this gets out of
The
hand.
article of the people blaming VR for like
Oh, you know
some sort of
what's coming,
tragic
and you know what's
event.
gonna come for the tamest, and the most unrelated shit. Dude, did you see that besieged GIF of like this machine, and it rounds up all these people, and then like a swastika pops up?
What?
Yeah, no, it's like it's got these big arms and like all these soldiers are running towards it and it pens them in.
And a
then these
swastika
arms,
pops up.
these arms come down into the pen and they all just start belching fire while a swastika rises up.
No, the
My
swastika
God.
comes
The
first.
swastika pops
like-
up and then all the fire. Like,
Boop, swastika, and then fire. And I was like,
ridiculous. the whole
holy
thing
shit.
just goes up in flames.
You think the developers saw that and were like, we've
What
gone
have
too
we
far. We've officially given them too much freedom.
I mean, anyone who has built like a kind of like free building platform, like the guy who invented Legos, must
No,
have seen like
no.
Lego swastikas at some point.
there was this article I read about this Lego MMO that was back in the day that they tried to build an algorithm for detecting penises, like penis-shaped structures, but it didn't work because people would get so creative that they had to have like 24-hour moderators just looking for dicks.
Can you put that on a resume? I was a dick moderator. Like,
They call them dick hunters.
it's a really cool article. I can't remember more than that.
The Dick Hunter show. The dick moderation. Oh my god. All right, last question, and this is
you know why like their dick detecting algorithm wouldn't work, because people would do things like build two structures like away from each other,
and then
but then when you like line them up, they make up the dick. So that's why they had to have moderators like just playing the game the whole time.
They would use perspective to create their dicks, is what you're saying. All right, last question. This comes from Gonzo, and this is, we've been asked this a lot, and this is not something we should probably go into great detail on.
How did you guys meet?
No, but he says, I've been interested in streaming games on Twitch for a while, and he wants to basically wants to know the basics of what's required to broadcast, I guess, because he doesn't want to use the PS4.
PS4 is a pretty good way to work.
I mean, we're still figuring that out. So
I mean, it's a constantly evolving. It's a constantly evolving process. I mean, the thing is, if you want to go, full on broadcasting without using something like Xbox One or PlayStation, you're going to need a capture card, obviously. And
well, I mean, you could broadcast from your PC if you have a really good PC and you play a lot of PC games.
He does say he does want to avoid using Steam.
Oh,
doesn't
want to avoid. Wait,
if you want, wait. He says what?
I don't want to have to use Steam or Sony's implementation of Twitch because they're pretty limiting.
Oh yeah, no.
So use OBS.
Steam's is bad.
Oh, that's right.
And Steam only broadcasts to Steam.
Yeah,
it's not like Twitch or something.
So you're not broadcasting directly to Twitch.
I mean, if you're playing PC games, just download OBS and go, right?
Yeah,
like
that's how I broadcast Kung Fury Dog.
That has been the entirety of my streaming career. Has been.
Might I say?
Did they not get you set up yet?
I have a capture card. It is in my computer. I cannot get it to do what it does.
I mean, Chris Davis was over there helping you try.
Yeah, for like an hour. Like we okay. and the thing was when he was over. Capture. Yeah, I don't know. We don't need to get into this, but like when he was over, we couldn't even get the computer to recognize that the card was working. And then after he left, it was. But it's still not showing.
After he left.
Okay,
so I'm confident that it might be like settings, resolutions. We can get it working. But
I'm confident.
To go back
Chris Davis might be putting out some kind of aura that prevents his capture card from working.
Well, I mean, he's the one who told me that my capture card recognizes a resolution that it doesn't with like confidence. He told me this, so I don't know. We just need to tinker with it.
Here comes the shit talking on the screen. Get ready.
We just need to tinker with it now that it quote unquote works. So yeah.
So yeah, the long and short, or the short answer to your question is capture card, broadcasting software, and probably a PC that can play games. Go. There's more specific, obviously, detailed answers out there. Maybe we can talk about it in the forums or something, but maybe not here on the podcast. So that's all we have for questions this week, guys. If you want to ask us questions, keep your eyes peeled on the Patreon activity feed. If you're a patron, you can ask us questions. We'll answer them on next week's podcast. I post these on Sunday evenings, so you usually have about 48 hours to get your questions on there for us to ask. So, and Nolan will be back next week, and we'll return to Chatter of the Week. Since
Macho Salad Chatter. Oh, I fucked you guys. Fucked you guys good. That was a bit. That was like 2 years in the making.
You son of a bitch.
No one realized for like 2 fucking years that I submitted a Chatter of the Week question. I mean, a Chatter of the Week profile.
You didn't win.
Entry. Yes.
So there's that.
I can't believe you guys didn't fucking recognize me.
Well, this was before you started using
Macho Salad. Yeah.
Macho Salad. All right. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast, as we always do, with the 4-Player Minute. We say something we're hyped about, our sweat, our thank you, and our fuck you of the week. Brad usually starts us off.
But this week,
I have the hat too.
Carlos is going to start us off.
No, please don't.
All right. My hype goes to the recently announced Summer of Sony Arcade, whatever it's called. And we got some release dates on some games I'm excited about, including N++, which will be coming out the end of this month, and Galaxy, which will be coming out the week after that, which is...
Finally.
Yeah, which is a game that's been in development for a long time, but looks and plays really well. So I'm kind of excited for that. Also, everyone's gone to the Rapture. Everybody's gone to the Rapture.
Blink
Is also
type
part of
fighter.
that as well. So, and that comes out in August.
Dog, yeah, like shit. What about a Soma, dog?
What?
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
Soma's cool.
Someone looks rad.
My fuck you. Wait, no, my sweat. My sweat goes to goes to all these games that are coming out this year. There's
Carlos, your biography said my name is Macho Salad and I'm from America.
Yeah, pretty much.
It should have just been a fucking link to the YouTube, to the Macho Salad video.
No, it should have been a link to your Patreon activity.
I didn't have a Patreon back then.
Oh yeah, good
This was
point.
pre-Patreon.
my sweat is goes to that new Hitman game because I've been watching a lot of the leaked footage and let's just say it's my I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm a little worried about there's some things in there I don't like, but there's some things that are actually really cool. Like I think it's really cool that when you put on a new outfit, your handler tells you this will get you access to the first floor and the basement. You know, like it'll tell you, like
exactly.
the areas that your outfit will get you in. It's just pretty slick way to figure that out. Even though before you kind of had to use. Actually, you know what? I don't like that. Damn it. I'm worried. I think it's going to be cool, but the levels do seem a lot more open, but there are definitely still some absolutionisms in there, hidden in there. But yeah, my fuck you goes to Capcom, of course, because all this footage of Dragon's Dogma Online is out there because there's a beta out in Japan, and I'm super excited because this should give me the power I need to help me play 1, XCOM 2, and
More like XCOM poo.
and 2, Mountain Blade 2, whenever that comes out. I should be good to go. So when I get that in, I'll probably finally reformat my computer as well. Might as well. And yeah, I'm psyched.
Dude, I'm going
Thank
through
Eric.
I'm going through the same problem you are, where I need to format my computer, and I got all these dang.
It's just too much, you know. If it wasn't all these emulators that I have, you know, I probably wouldn't have waited this long. But so much shit on my computer.
All right, Carlos,
All
are you
right.
ready? Oh God.
Okay.
Here we go.
Give it a spin.
So, shameful secret.
We don't do that anymore.
not what
But
I'm-
go ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
Shameful secret.
You are Macho Salad.
Yeah, well, I for my trip to Mexico, I was gonna have a pretty long layover, so I got ready and I downloaded all these really cool games that I've been meaning to play for forever, like the Cat Lady, Bad Mojo, Sanitarium, like all games I can play with a touchpad, right? Like point and click adventure games, shit like that. I just played FTL for like a year.
All right.
My hype is for Soma, baby.
So much.
Soma looks
Have you
sweet.
been watching some of that footage? I played it.
looks sweet, dope.
Ask me anything.
Looks sweet. I don't want to ask you shit.
It's
Soma
like,
looks-
did you like Alien Isolation?
Yeah, it's
Same damn game.
Dude,
Soma
really?
looks cool. Soma looks cool. I'm more interested on the story because I followed Thomas Grip, one of the directors of the game, on Twitter, and he's a really smart guy. Like one time I got into like a Twitter conversation with him, and the whole time I just wanted to back out because I was like, man, he's gonna call me out on my bullshit. He's gonna know I'm not smart.
He's going to call me out.
This is what
He knows.
I get on Twitter to get away from this, like hide who I really am.
Oh, my Lord. It's good to know, Carlos.
I have.
That's you
I
hiding?
texted Brad earlier like what the 4 things were.
Is that what you texted me? Because it was not a complete sentence. I have no idea what you're asking.
Yeah.
Wait, was it?
What do you-
Was it BB? I'm crying. What for?
He did say something about crying.
Carlos texted me a picture of his feet today.
That was a speech.
And I texted him back a picture of my thumbs up, and he never responded.
You could have just said okay. You know, it took me like 4 minutes to see that picture, dog.
I'm sorry. But
Okay.
My picture is too high res.
So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'll have a cry when I look at the Fallout 4 trailer. I kind of weep a little bit because I'm
Wow.
hyped. Because I'm pretty hyped.
You're hyped?
Yeah, I'm hyped. And because I like
was
the
so fucking amped to E3. It's kind of worn off a little bit.
I like the song.
it's because we haven't seen anything else from it.
Because you're back in the world.
Yeah.
And you know what all is coming before that.
For my last
What?
one,
Yeah.
I promise y'all, I'm gonna drop a freestyle.
Oh God. Oh
Do it.
God.
Do
It's
it.
gonna be like the dude.
All right, ready? This is all my backup I need. Ready?
No, Carlos, what are you doing? This is not good.
It's good. It's picking it up.
I got games at home that I don't play because they're lame. Randy Pitchford, Twitter Q&A.
Oh my god!
It's a smoke screen. Don't fall into his game. Something else going on. Stay woke. That's it.
Oh my god! We didn't even talk about that.
That was bad. Like
That was so bad.
That was the worst.
Oh my god! That was just that was a lynch mob. Like that was horrible.
Thank you, Carlos, for that colorful display.
Ugh.
Crispy.
Okay, my hype is for No Man's Sky because my fuck you for the week is you guys.
Mom spaghetti.
My thank you.
what did I do?
My thank you is for whoever was involved in making Rocket League one of the free games for PlayStation Plus this month because that shit
Dude,
is amazing and
It's
I didn't
cool,
have to
but
pay
man,
for
PlayStation
it.
Plus getting
Shut
bad.
the fuck
you need to learn.
up,
You need
Brad.
to learn your fucking plays, dog.
You got a second fuck you for the week now, and my sweat is for the DC movies. I'm feeling a little better about them after seeing those trailers.
Yeah,
but like,
Zack Snyder.
dude, third fuck you for the week goes to Brad. Those could still go either way. I don't
Sucker
know.
Punch.
Anyone gonna read
Hey,
that
Man
new
of Steel
Harper
was
Lee
rad.
book?
Oh, cool. Thanks for the... Oh, that was in your mouth.
No, I threw those ones away.
Are you sure?
I swear to God.
No one gonna read that new Harper Lee book. Shit is damn.
All right. Thank you, Crispy.
Yep.
My hype for the week is Dark Souls. I'm getting to a point. Well, I have to beat The Witcher. I have to beat The Witcher first, but I want to start playing Dark Souls. God
You're
damn
gonna
it.
beat The Witcher before you play Dark Souls. You will play Dark Souls never.
Yeah.
Did you ever finish Demon Souls?
No, dude. No, I didn't. But
Dude, I was playing Demon Souls with Poco the other day. Ooh, that game's
I
so
am
fucking
fully
cash, dude.
I am fully intent on beating Dark
Alright.
Souls 1 and 2 before 3 comes out.
I will be
So I
playing
got to
that
get
soon.
started like now. My sweat goes to DC movies. Well, actually, I said more specifically Suicide Squad just because I'm cautiously optimistic about that movie. It looks kind of cool. I was definitely more impressed by Jared Leto's Joker than I thought I would be. But I'm still not entirely sold on the movie yet. I'm really excited for Batman vs Superman just because I'm one of those people that really liked Man of Steel a lot. So more from that universe seems really cool. And I'm actually, you know what I'm really surprised about more than anything is that I think Ben Affleck looks like the role of Bruce Wayne way more than I expected.
It's the vest that did it.
Is it the vest?
It's the vest.
I think it's
like, oh my god, that's so like dapper and billionaire-y, but he
no, but
also
like if you
looks
look at him
like-
in the cowl too, like he looks
he
like let's be honest, Christian Bale looked
looks
kind
a
of.
little trapezoidy in the cowl.
What does that even mean?
I mean, it's just like his neck is like fucking.
I'm gonna be honest. I think
thick.
as much as I love the Dark Knight trilogy, I think Christian Bale looked kind of silly in the
Yeah.
cowl. Like his face,
I've never
it's like his
seen
head
it.
was always about to pop.
There is nobody live action who has ever made Batman
Yeah.
look like really convincing.
Christian Bale his face is too skinny.
I think Ben Affleck looks really good in the cowl.
I think Ben Affleck's doing a great job. Like I think he probably has the look more than any of the other ones. Like, dude,
Did you see the picture?
Nobody has ever.
Did you see the new picture they released the other day with him
Adam West
with
looked
the
cool
goggles?
as Batman.
Did you see the picture of Batman with the cowl and the goggles where he's out in the desert?
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
No, yeah.
That looked
we
pretty
ever
cool.
live in a
No, it was
world.
good.
Anyways, my fuck you of the week goes to my PC. For obvious reasons, if you've been trying to watch me broadcast for any time in the past 2 or 3 months, you've noticed that every time I try, I fail. And I've even gone as far as to completely reinstall Windows on my computer. Turns out that didn't fix my problem.
Do you have Windows 8?
No. My connection, or my thank you is in connection to my fuck you, which my thank you goes to Vunic, who helped me at least narrow the problem down to what seems to be an encoder issue. And I've run some tests using a different encoder, and it seems like it's working. I did a little test on Sunday morning, and it seems like we're good to go. So, if it allows it, I'm going to try and play Amnesia again on Friday. Because I've been trying to play that game for 3 weeks now, and I've failed every time I try it. So, thank you, Vunic, for helping me try and nail that problem down. I really hope it doesn't change its mind and start fucking up again on Friday. But we'll see. Only time will tell. And that's it. That's my 4-player minute. I think we're done. Good show, guys. Go team. 4playernetwork.com. Once again, if you are watching us live or not, the poll, I'm not sure when Chris Davis is closing this poll, but there is a poll you can access through the forums on our site. We're asking people to tell us what systems are picking up certain games on so we can start planning some community nights for the fall. I think, you know, games like Star Wars Battlefront, things like that. So
that's a good idea.
So go vote in the poll. Let us know where you're going to be picking those games up so we can start planning. What else we got? Anything else? We're working on something new for reviews, which I think is kind of exciting. We're going to start with Batman. So hopefully we can get that cranked out in the next day or two. Fingers crossed. And get that out to you. We want you guys' feedback on that because we might start using it more often. But yeah, I guess check us out every night, 4pp.tv. We broadcast every single day. And of course, next Tuesday we'll be back with another episode of this wonderful podcast. Which I won't be
Carlos
back. Won't.
Yeah.
Carlos won't be here. But
Carlos will be over tomorrow night.
But he'll be broadcasting.
Bringing me a PS4 controller.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say?
Nothing. Goodbye.
No, I had a thought and you made me fucking forget it.
Whatever.
Yeah, you made me forget it. Thanks for listening, guys. Oh yeah, SoundCloud. We're on SoundCloud now. So if you hate iTunes, you can find us on SoundCloud. I posted on SoundCloud day and date with iTunes. You can find it soundcloud.com/4pp. All right, now I'm done. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.